Professor Sharif and Joey Options. We'll be back at 2, but let's kick into some small cap trading and some talk about crypto for sure.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Boom! Oh. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That right there is your boy Joey Options. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I am Sharif, and where are the people? The people are here, Joseph. Shout out to Kurt Sanders. I don't think I've ever said. Shout out to KC526, Glaze, Jenny Eula. Sorry, I butchered your last name. All is Wands, Monty G. We got Andrew Chow, Julie B. Bang, Julie, I like that. Your Huckleberry, Afterstar, a Holt. I'm looking for new names today, guys. So throw in your name in the chat if you're new or if you haven't said hi before. We have Gaint, Frank's Trades. I seen Papa Bear. I'm seeing Essex Hammer. Essex Hammer, that looks like a West Ham logo in your name. You're going to have to get blocked. Ooh. Mike H in the ATX. I'm just joking, buddy. Everybody's welcome here. Shout out to Ricky G. D. Scurv. We got Desi Junction Media. Shout out to Applesauce and Trump Corp. Uh-oh. Trader Wannabe. I like that one, too. Shout out to Tariq. Chanda Monreal. Uncle Shiner. Uncle Shiner? Okay. Mike P. DeRider. I said I'd say names that I haven't seen before, but you're always such a good vibe, my man. Shout out to you. We got Yaz, John Womack, Dan Satic Sports Card. We got Nick. Come on, Costas, Silly Mama. Get it, Silly Mama. Who else we got? Rudy Enriquez. Stock Jock. Okay. DT, D-Bull, BK Lemons, Susie Fox. Where you guys at? Come on. I want new names, baby. We're not going to say any old names today. Eagle Talon. I've said that one before, but I happen to love that card because, yeah, well, you know, I grew up liking that card, Joey. So, you know, whatever. Everything's good there. Good morning, my man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. We're doing okay here. Well, slightly red. Down a couple of sawbucks. Is that what it is? A couple of sawbuck is 10.
What does that mean?
Like a fin is 5, I'm pretty sure.
Understood.
Sawbuck is 10, I believe. So we're down to nothing substantial.
That's gambling, racing, right?
I have no idea. No, my grandpa used to say it to me. So
I'm pretty sure. Because the only reason I'm so uncultured, I get my culture from a high society from Seinfeld.
Okay.
Right there you go. So that's kind of the situation over there, Joe.
All right, guys. What's going on here today? Let's go through some of the trades that we put on. This is QBTS. Yeah, it just went there, and this was my primary target on the day. This is the one stock that I was looking to trade, but this is pretty choppy PA. I mean, we have eventually found a direction, but we take a stab there, and I'm like, you know what? If it wasn't going to be a genuine breakout, then I'm just going to leave it alone. But then we get a nice move from VWAP once again and then head right into that $20 price target. But why was I trading this? Look where we opened up, and we have a key resistance zone right there. So I was looking for the continuation in strength. So one thing for me is that I got to realize that these stocks don't move as orderly as sometimes as the Mag 7, so you have to sit in them for longer durations and have the ability to diamond hand through the ebbs and flows. And then here we are. We took a short on Tesla this morning. That worked out, and then silly me decided to flip long, and then we got stopped out. But as soon as I'm like, okay, we're going to crack this pre-market low. Let's boom. Let's head in there. Decent size as well. Then I flip about half that size, and I'm like, no, got stopped out right at the break of the low. But this is what chopped me up this morning. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it's time for me to stop. So entry 1, stopped out. Entry 2, stopped out. Go heavier on the third one, and then we get stopped out. So I can't be shorting this market, especially when Amazon and Google have completely other plans. So that's what I got cooking up. My eyes are on XYZ block. I know Obi's been trading that, so we'll keep an eye out on that one there as well too, because it is starting to form a compression pattern. You can see that displayed. We are constructing lower highs consistently through this. So there we go. Which way is this going to break? So we can call this a descending wedge, whatever you would like, but price really starting to condense. So let's see if we can get some volume spike and head to the top side, because I would like a long here in XYZ. Sure.
I appreciate that, Joey. Yeah. Here's the deal, guys. We had a good trade here to start on PMN. This is a dollar stock, but it's up a respectable, very respectable 182%. It does have a double top of note at the 150 to 160 area. Be on the lookout for that, okay? So I've scalped out my position. We got in a little bit lower than the $quarter dollar at 123, and we wet the beak up to 140. I'm keeping my eye on this one. The reason I got in, it was a VWAP retracement. I was alive to the double top, but I said, look, this is at VWAP here. It's putting in higher lows because these are the 2 area lows. So I said, give this one a try. And then if it drops below that $110, it's all she wrote. So we end up scalping well on this one. I'm keeping my eye on it. Let's see if we can extract some more. I'm also involved in another trade, BSGM. It's not up nearly as much, about 19.8%. Right now, I do have a wick off that low there. We've taken a couple of scalps. It's showing me 58. I've got 46 on. This one is spready, though. So it's 6 penny spread, 7 penny spread right now, tightening up, but it is going unfilled. And you can see went all the way up to my 58 order there, and there are 2 orders that it crossed that are going unfilled as a result of the spread. So be on the lookout for that, okay? So this one obviously displeases me a little bit. And full disclosure, this one is a riskier trade for me. It's not even done a million shares. 921,000 shares is what it's done on the day. Let's see if we can get a nice little move up there and then take out some of my orders. It's crossing 2 of them, but 2 of them are going unprinted. So a little annoyed about that. Now, let's talk about your friend Open, because Obi, he is the one. Kenobi did mention this in the morning, and this is all gas, no freaking brakes right now. 375 high, we're at 368. Me like a schmuck. I'm an idiot waiting at 340, 345, thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna come test previous area of resistance. No, it's not. Well, at least not now. It's not. Too many buyers here to allow it to drop into a former area of support. Yeah, so you guys know, obviously we've got construction in the background. Shout out to the guys doing an absolutely fantastic job. Hopefully they'll be done soon and we won't have too much noise, but just bear with us, guys. Obviously we're trying to make the place a bit better, and we really do appreciate your understanding. In any event, back to Open over here, keeping my eye on this 65% thereabouts. It's 2 pennies off the highs. This one has got a lot of gas in the tank right now, but pick it up off key levels, and let's see if we can get above that 375 high. So it looks like we definitely got some buyers there ahead of the $half, Joey. I was thinking 40s, maybe 45s. No, the market's too exuberant. The buyers here are just way too exuberant, picking this up above the areas of technical support. So however we can get in here, we're going to have to be kind of, I don't want to say sniping this, but being really accurate with our entry. So I'm going to keep my eye on Open, Joey.
Good look there, my friend. Havana Woody, I'll take a look at that momentarily. Alexandre Emerad, what's up, Big Al? Real trading member from Ottawa. You'll get a shout out from Sharif and I.
Absolutely,
hope everything is doing good on your end, and I hope you're having a solid trading day. So that's shout out to Big Al.
Sure.
Now, yeah, let's take a look at that there, Havana Woody. I think that's going to be some interesting stuff. We do know that we've seen some open interest at that 20. Now, we got to see if it's rolled over to this week, and if it hasn't, then who knows what's necessarily going to happen. All right, so yeah, nothing. It's literally all gone now, Havana Woody. So whoever that was just got absolutely destroyed because those did close in the money. So yeah, that was not a good time for that individual, because there's only 203, literally 203 current open contracts at that 20 strike price, when last week we've seen tens of thousands. So yeah, that one didn't work out for that individual. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking too heavy into DJT. But now we are in some XYZ. Shout out to Obi. Yeah, he was in this earlier. Nice grab off of the bottom. Now we're starting to form this price compression pattern. Let's see if we can sit on top of this range. I think that's going to give us a good add opportunity. We're only giving this 50 cents or so, just due to how the ATR has expanded on the volatility and the gap up that we've experienced earlier this morning. So there it is. XYZ slowly grinding higher for us. Couple pennies in the money, so we'll take that one. And we're most definitely going to be looking to add into this position and make it as big as we possibly can, and then take what the market's going to give us here on this one. Microsoft was strong. So when I started to short the Qs, what do we got to do? We obviously got to take a look at the mag, and they weren't ready. Amazon was, I was in prematurely. Amazon was buzzing. Google was buzzing as well, too. And then you can't forget about Microsoft. And I mentioned to Shreve, I'm like, I kind of forgot why this stock is just continuously running. Well, I was listening to a couple analysts, Tom Lee being one of them, says there's about 20% of unregistered or unaccounted for revenue from the commercial Azure space, which can lead to this continuous move higher. And we talked about this on Friday, I believe it was. How sustainable is this? Well, if there is unaccounted revenues, then I think it can be sustained, but just be careful of earnings. I wouldn't be buying any contracts or buying all the way up here. And if it does rip, then by all means, let it do what it's going to do, but there's going to be another opportunity to get involved. XYZ slowly working out for us, up 8% on the day there, Sharif.
All right, Joey, we just got into open right now, got in at 77s. We just scalped up into 95s. Open is on the rampage to the high side. $4 is incoming open. What are you up on the day? Show yourself open. Why don't I have open on the side chart like an idiot? Hold on. I'm making a lot of mistakes today, all right. Give me a second over here. OPEN, I don't know why. 73% right now. Not a bad look. What I'm looking at here is how much available shorts on my platform, and there are none available. So not a bad look over here for OPEN as we get into that $4 area. Be on the lookout here for rejection at least a momentary rejection. We've seen this story before where we get into that level. We're met with some selling, zigging, zagging. Some people take profits at around the $4 area only for the other buyers to step in and propel this one north. So be on the lookout right now, okay? Yeah, I'm going to continue to wait over here for the second entry into open as we have kind of taken everything out into that level. Now, I've got another trade on right now that is a little concerning, okay? We've scalped up some here on BSGM. It's finally crossed that million threshold, but the spread continues to be prohibitive right now. 9 pennies showing me right now. So I'm 1 penny in the money if you're looking at the ask. I'm 8 pennies out of the money. Well, now 5 pennies out of the money if you're looking at the bid. I'm looking for this one to hold VWAP. Loses that 530 level, it's all over. I won't be dealing with this one. We have scalped out a little bit over here, but we'll be out of the money if we do, be red on it, excuse me, if we do get stopped out. So haven't scalped out that much. I want to go back to PMN because this one was halted to the downside momentarily. So somebody in the chat was like, hey, should I hold on to my PMN shares? And so I had a look. I looked at where we were halted. We were halted at VWAP, so that's not bad in and of itself. So you're still holding that technical level. And then I looked at the top, the theoretical auction price, and we were 1 penny below the halt level. Alas, we are back at the volume weighted average price right now. But what you need to be on the lookout for is what we call a flat bottom break. Why do I say that, Joey? Because what I see here is incrementally lower highs. All the while, you've got that same area low being the volume weighted average price. So you get lower high, lower high, lower high, all the while that same buyer stepping in at that same predictable area. Sometimes it's only just a matter of time until that buyer is exhausted with his buy order, and then the price drops. So be on the lookout right now for what we call a flat bottom break at PMN. And if it does flat bottom break, I wouldn't be long south of VWAP, but if you're interested in taking it long south of VWAP, I would be looking at that dollar area for buyers to step in en masse. Be on the lookout for big buy orders on the bid side of the level 2 so that you know they can make an educated guess as to whether or not there's a buyer with sufficient amount of shares to backstop the order. So that's what I'm looking at right now. PMN, open, and BSGM. I've got others over here. Let's bring them in and talk about them. I see you guys, sorry, in the chat with the tags. I haven't had an opportunity to respond because I've been kind of covering these, but I promise I will go back and have a look at them. So I mentioned BSGM. I'm also looking at TDTH. This one is stair-stepping. I like this possibly at $1.90 to $1.95. Ideally, I'd like it at $1.95 because that's where I saw the buyers basically getting rejected, the seller stepping in there. And you've also had multiple kind of buys off that area, but you are putting in lower highs on TDTH. So be on the lookout for the loss of that. Anything below 190, I'm not interested in buying it. So that's there. Beam, BEEM, also stair-stepping up, finding support at 320, another predictable area of support after that 340 area high. Why do I say predictable area? Well, the 10 is there. You also rejected that area initially, so you know it's a former area of resistance. Look for it to be support if it was formerly resistance. I'm also looking at NVTS. There's a lot today, guys. Sorry to go through all of them. This one's a bit more expensive, $9 and change, going on 10. Also, stair-stepping up. It did momentarily lose the 10 EMA on the 5. It's zigging and zagging with that $9 area now. Doesn't know if it wants to close above or below it. Be on the lookout for that. I picked this up for a dip trade off that volume-weighted average price. Currently showing me high 850s. And then going on here, Joey, sorry, last one. Prime, PRME. This one did momentarily lose VWAP, but quick as you like, right back into that 4 high 9s, looking to take out 5. This one's up 20 1/3%, Joey. So there's a lot going on right now. You know, trade these carefully. I would say that the king of them all today, the one that's going, the one that Obi mentioned, Open.
Open, yeah. Open's looking really good there, brother. It's warm in here today. I will say that. It's nice and warm. I know you're feeling it today. I don't even know.
Yeah. So we've got the you guys obviously see the guys in the background there.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, Joey, the water's out, and when the water's out, the air conditioner's out. So your boy's going to be going back there plenty to get bottles of water. This guy, you're shiny already, my guy. You're shiny already.
Hey, man, that might
We're
be
both shiny.
That might be the cream. You know what I mean? We got that good. I don't even know what Selena buy
Shout out to Brian Armstrong.
Shout out to Brian Armstrong. But yeah, Monty G, Jag, keep doing your thing, guys. You know what you're doing. Just chill back, relax a little bit. If things aren't working your way, guess what? There's tomorrow. There's always going to be another session. So don't try to force anything. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on with XYZ. I did add into this position here. Now we just got to wait for this break to see if the trend's going to hold here, and if it doesn't, then we'll just hop out. So we're not going to cry home about this one or anything along those lines. This was only a 33% add. I haven't doubled up any positions. The thing is, though, I don't like averaging in. That's not necessarily part of my style, but what I will do is I'll average up. But here, considering this is only 33%, I'll give myself the opportunity. If we do hold VWAP once again, I'll add another 33%. So that'll essentially almost double the position, 50%, sorry. Did I say 33? 50%. So this will double this position there, and then we'll continue to look for that move higher. The Qs, I think at some point are going to break down. I was just slightly early on this trade. You can see we had multiple indecision prints at the highs, and I'm like, all right, let's rock and roll. This is our time to shine. But it was just too early, and some of the mags were too strong. So I'm just totally accepting of the fact that, hey, these signals weren't playing out today, and that's okay. We'll find another op. So, and this is what I was referring to earlier as well, too, guys. You can see that Google and Amazon are relatively strong, and I said, okay, so we've been on such a monster run since the April lows, and Google and Amazon were lagging. So at some point, when they decided to play catch-up, it can drag the market higher, and I think that's exactly what we're experiencing right now. So Google and Amazon playing catch-up. They report on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that one with Tesla. We'll keep an eye on that. I have a couple shares left in my swing, nothing substantial, really, really small. And I did miss this trade here. I was talking to some individuals a while ago, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I think this is going to be a good opportunity to add to Google right at this 181 break. And then your boy just never pulled the trigger, and that's unfortunate. So that's why I've been looking at some other names over the weekend. I did have my eye on MU. Okay, so that's really working out here. Now, gee, why do I do certain things? So I placed an order last night, and I'm like, all right, let's grab this contract, but then let's zoom in and see what we got going on. As soon as I opened my eyes, I wanted to see what MU was doing, and I see this, Sharif. So I'm like, yo, cancel. Yeah, so I canceled that one right and early. Yeah, but I'm like, what is this buffoonery? Yeah, this is right at 6:30 in the morning, and this was the first thing I seen. So I'm like, what is this buffoonery? I don't want any part of this whatsoever. So I did cancel this order, but I think MU does have a potential to climb higher. Why? This is its earnings report day, and it wasn't too bad. I think it was like 38% year-over-year revenue growth. A lot of positive numbers here in Micron, but here it is, a nice hammer candle off of those lows. So that's exactly what I'm looking to play. I don't think it's too late to get involved. I just can't go in with the size that I was intending to, and I had some contracts and orders put out there. We're holding up the top end of the range in XYZ, so that is a positive sign for this long. And then also, sorry, this is what I wanted to bring up before I send it back to Sharif, is some of the quantum stocks here. IONQ looking like a beauty here in the morning. But again, first 45 minutes, hour, really choppy price action. But then you break through some key resistance zones. But why was I looking at this? Here, look at that. Boom. Break of 49, potential trade right there. And then if we go across the sector and we can see multiple kind of identical patterns across the board, I think that's going to be a positive sign. So here was a 1971 break on QBTS and then also QUBT. Dude, okay, this one's not as clean as the other ones, but IONQ and QBTS, potentially good swing trades there as well, Shreve.
All right, man. Sounds like the plan. I'm in a new position. I'm not sure why it's not showing it. I'm in Beam. We weaseled into Beam at 14s over here, so we're gonna layer some orders on my friend Beam. Let's see if we can do something about this one. Yeah, just putting in the orders there. Now, full disclosure though, BSGM. We're close. We haven't stopped out yet, but we are now out of the money by 9 pennies on this one. I have to be careful because it is illiquid. So what I've done with this one is I've given it a wider spread, a trigger order and the limit order. There has to be a spread between them. In case you're a newer trader to these small caps, I always use limit orders. But one way to kind of offset the drawbacks of limit orders, and I'm going to get stopped out here in a second if it loses any more, is to tell the computer 2 different prices. One is a trigger order and one's a limit order. And the trigger order tells the computer sell when this thing, let's just say, hits 525. But the limit order will say to the computer, well, look, man, pay, and now I just got stopped out, so we'll go 1 for 1. So the limit order will say pay up to this price. So if it triggers at 525, you can say to the limit order, pay up to as low as 515. So that way you're giving it a 10 penny offset, 10 penny spread, however you want to describe that, okay? So we go a little bit, we'll go negatory very lightly though because of BSGM over here. Was able to de-risk, but this one will put me negative on the day. That's all right. We'll get right back to it. Now, I'm looking at PMN again. It's holding VWAP. It's definitely putting in lower highs, but now I have a really clear area where I can get out. So let's go long PMN again, and if that buyer that was stepping in at 14s is no longer there, then we'll know we're wrong. So that's exactly what I'm doing there with PMN. We're gonna do it live right now.
Okay.
Just gonna, sorry, I know, this guy, right? So where are we in? We're in 20s, Joey. So let's layer some of these orders. Maybe we can do it live again over here on this bad boy and take out some good orders there. So just setting up over here. Let's set up a little bit. I'll go 28s on that. So that's what I'm looking at now, PMN. On that one, and then Beam. Yes, nothing on Beam yet. We haven't taken any. There we go. Now we get the print on Beam. Beam's a VWAP retracement. Again, another one that's displeasingly spready. It's 3 pennies, 2 pennies now. It's not 1 penny, so you're not going to be able just to get in and get out without any damage there or without only a penny damage. So let's see what we can get here on Beam. Okay, now we're taking out the orders here on the beamed one. Where else can we got? Did we get any more? No. So we've gotten a couple of orders there printed. Let's go ahead now and wait at 25s on my friend Beam. Let's go back. What do you
I dare. I love the phrase displeasingly spready.
Adair, just weasel in next time you want to say stuff like that.
I mean, for me, probably a displeasingly spready would be like the opposite of what you're saying. It'd be like a 1-2 cent
Hold on,
spread.
Adair, question.
Oh.
So we all know you have an affinity for spready stocks. You're very good at trading them. It's
Thank you.
basically all you do. What would be displeasingly spready for you?
Okay, I think on like the short end, obviously, like, I mean, I've traded other things, but like, I think if it's like, if you're going to do like a 2 to 3 cent spread, I don't know. On the other hand, you know what would, like in terms of the wider spreads, I don't know if I could do like a $5. I don't know if I could do.
So what do you do typically? Couple bucks, right?
Usually a couple bucks. Yeah. I'm comfortable with $2 to $3.
That's crazy.
Fantastic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, look, some people, they wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
Derek trades them excellent. I mean, that just goes to show you that there's really no one way to trade. Not everybody's the same.
That's the thing, right? There is no one right way to trade. That's the beauty of the markets. Is that when people are like, yeah, you should do this, you should do that. It's like, okay, I understand where you're getting at, but take into consideration that's your system, and the way you operate, other people may not operate in the same way, right? So you just got to look at it like that and just stay open-minded. And trust me, I've been there. I've been around traders who get confident. Like, it's like they go through a couple of days and they're printing money, they're making good money, and then next thing you know, they're like, hey, you have to trade like this, you have to do that. I get it, but at the end of the day, you got to let people be their own. Now, there's difference. Yeah, yeah, you like that one.
You thought it was going to get bad in here. You thought it was going to be all about you today.
Yeah, I did. I thought we were leaning that way. But again, you want to take things, right? I think one of the sayings in the world today, Sharif, is that the smartest people take advice from everybody, right? And it's just boom, 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 boom. Understandably so. But don't let someone be like, here, you don't know, you have to do it this way, you have to do it. No. Take advice, a little piece of information from every individual that you know is half decently smart, and then be like, hey, put that all together and then try to make your own kind of conclusion and your thesis. And I think that's a big part of trading. That being said, your boy added a little bit more into XYZ, and I don't know how this is going to play out. We are on the backside of this trend. I am going to add a little bit more. I'm prepared to sit in this slow grind here. That may be XYZ. I believe these pre-market highs are definitely going to be in the works today, and then maybe even possibly 80. So I'm going to have to Deontay Wilder this and diamond hand and sit in this position. But I also don't want to hold it too heavily against me, considering I am now averaging up through the volume-weighted average price and into kind of no man's lands where you can kind of potentially form a shelf. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to get too aggressive on the way up. Wait for a couple pullbacks. That's going to give me another opportunity to add. And then I think my primary target around this neck of the wood, Sharif, is going to be $80.
I like it. I like it, Joey. I like it. All right, we're doing it live right now. Let me go through a couple of these trades. So I've got 4 trades on at the moment. Just worked my way into NVTS. I'll get to them in a second. But Beam, we took a couple of prints here on Beam, but it's not rocketing up off the volume-weighted average price. And I've been really alive to these small cap gappers using the 10 EMA on the 5 as resistance once they lose them. And that's my perception now of Beam. These mechanical trading systems, they will use these moving averages, right? And obviously the mechanical trading systems can be incorporated into an algo. And so that's what I've been on the lookout lately for. And I just got stopped out of PMN for the second trade there, but we'll stay positive on that one as we had a better trade on it earlier. So this one does lose the volume weighted average price, and that will be likely the last time I take a trade on that. I'm keeping my eyes on Open, keeping my eyes on TDTH. I just worked into that one as well. That's above the 10 EMA, so that's keeping me optimistic. But Beam, I might flatten out here on Beam, guys. Take that 3 pennies and run because it is losing. It is not putting in a candle to make a new high. And it's also straddling the 10 EMA on the 5 from the south side. That's not what I want with that. So I don't mind getting out of the trade early and just taking the money and running over here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do on Beam. We're going to take that couple of pennies and just get the hell out because it's not setting up in the right way. All right, NVTS. Got a couple of prints on this one, looking for kind of a curling effect on NVTS. Let me show you what I mean here on the black chart. So this one dips in below 9. There's buyers here, you can tell, in the high 80s. What I'm looking for is a clearing of that 9.10 and then a possible move into that 9.5. We'll have to see if we get that. I've got a dip trade set up on NVTS as well. Open is really going here, guys. There it goes. Through 4. Be on the lookout now for Open as it takes out $4. Where are the buyers going to step in? Well, the sellers are certainly stepping in at 5 over here. So let's see if we can get something here on Open. It probably behooves me to throw the 5-second chart on this one so I can keep my eye on this one over here. We're going to send you guys to Adara for the crypto segment.
Yeah, get ready, guys. Here is DJT. DJT actually did have a crypto-related catalyst this morning. As you can see, we got as high as just over the $20 level pre-market, though we have pulled back, still making some higher lows. Company announcing that they have apparently accumulated about $2 billion in Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related securities. It's part of its strategy to expand its digital asset initiative. Now, this company, of course, does do social media. They have Truth Social, the account or the platform that President Trump primarily posts on. But now, apparently, they are announcing that as of today, and as of these acquisitions, their holdings of crypto now make up approximately 2/3 of their total liquid assets, which amount to about $3 billion. Interesting look here for DJT. Let's take a look at some of these crypto names. I want to start with XRP, which has been really strong as of late. Let's take a look at XRP. Nice look here. This is about a rounded bottom on this 15-minute chart. Let's see what we do here with that 3.6, almost 3.7 level. Zoom out here on a daily chart. This is still looking really, really good. Not only do we have that rounded bottom in the more near term in that 15-30-minute chart, but if you take a look at the daily, there's a rounded bottom here as well. So this does seem poised for a bit of a breakout here for XRP. Let's take a look at Solana as well while we're here to take a look at some of these non-Bitcoin and Ethereum names. Solana looking really great. Consistent higher highs, higher lows on this daily chart, but we're still quite a ways away from that January level of resistance, that most recent high that we got around $300. Back to you.
Thank you for that one, Dara. So yeah, here we go, guys. We're just slowly building into this position. I'll build in a little bit more if we hold the volume weighted average price, and then just look for that move higher. Again, the bulk of it's right here, so I have the ability to do so. Just to kind of just build something, just in case we do decide to head for some of these pre-market highs, and put in that $80 target, which I believe can be in the works for today. So I'm going to keep an eye out on this one. SPY. Just again grinding higher on the session, guys, but this is some nice topping tail signals right here, right around 11:30. Double top, you make that last final push, liquidity grab, absorb everybody's money, and then decide to grab, maybe make a move back down into the volume weighted average price. Now, note, considering how the volume-weighted VWAP is hugging price tightly, that signals a very, very strong stock. So just keep that in mind there as well, too, guys. So, yeah, XYZ not working out for us right now. We need this VWAP hold. If it does snap, then I'm just going to hop out of this trade. So I want to see how price reacts around this specific level in order for me to add a little bit more. But the tape is relatively strong, right? So that's something positive. One thing to note is just look at this volume profile. Not strong whatsoever. But as we start to pull back, you can see the volume cool off a little bit. So that's going to give the opportunity for the opposite party to kind of step in and really, really start to push price higher if it decides to do so, all right? So that's the game plan there on XYZ. I know someone was asking me about Bitcoin this morning. Let's take a look at what iBit's up to. Just kind of just moving sideways, but here's an inverted hammer that I see, and I'm like, ooh, that's not a good sign. As you punch through some key resistance levels, and then you head into that next, so then now, boom, you play the break of that, you're finally breaking the volume-weighted average price. Now let's take a look at a fun new potential tool here, and that's going to be XXRP. Okay. The XRP 2X long ETF right here, Sharif. Yes, I don't know how it's valued at more than XRP is. That doesn't really make sense to me. Am I looking at the right thing? I don't know. So how is something 2X but then priced significantly more than what the actual underlying is? I can't wrap my head around that. Maybe it's just something I'm not understanding. But here it is, from $64 all the way up to a high of around $68.70. So that's a really good look in these XRP ETFs, ETHA. That's going to be Ethereum as well too here, guys. Nice move off of those 28 lows going to 29.20. Big time gap up. I'd be keeping an eye out for this potential gap to be filled. Now this ETF is getting a lot more popular. Institutions are funneling in, Sharif. So watch out for that manipulation. And when you have these gaps, you can definitely get involved in there.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
It's pretty. It's so pretty. Oh, you got something cooking up there. All right, then.
All right. Open is doing it again, Joseph. There goes the high of the day. We got 4s on. It's showing 30s. Go. Open, go. There is the high of the day, 431. Be on the lookout. We're closing in on 100% on the opened one over here. It's been breaking out for a hot minute. I still have a dip trade to defend for. I'm starting to wonder whether this dip trade is accurate or not. I'm likely going to remove it. I think we're far removed away from 4 that if we do pull in to that $4 level, I'd need to assess things anew rather than just punching in willy frickin' nilly. So I'm going to keep my eye here on the opened one. It's breaking out. It's got a great looking chart under its belt. But just be on the lookout here because these ones have a way of reverting. The information on open is as follows. It is a 655 million share float, according to Trade Ideas, with a 20.74% short float. That's decent. Now, we know these ones are released by FINRA every 14 days, so we don't know exactly what it is at any one point in time. There it goes again into the high of the day. No beak wetters here. We're going to see how much we can let this one go. In fact, I'm going to be interested in adding if it sets up in the right way. So open, wow, into 40s it goes, Joseph. Wow. We're going to go into that 100% area right now on open. Be on the lookout, guys. Again, 20.75% short float on a float of 655 million shares. That's a little larger. You know, sometimes we're trading these single-digit million shares. So when I see 655, it's a little bit bigger. And I looked over to OB. I'm like, this one's a little thickly traded, and that makes a bit more sense now, given that it has a larger float. Okay, but we could get squeezes as a result of that short float. And you want to do a little TA, you know, kind of get some reps under your belt there. Go on the daily and try to make educated guesses as to where you think the shorts have piled in, just based on volume and price action. It's not certainly anything foolproof, but you know, definitely a good exercise there. So we're going to keep an eye on open. TDTH, we're continuing to put in higher highs and higher lows. It's really nothing to write home about. A couple of prints here. I don't know how I feel about this. That seller at 210 we can't shake. Barely getting anything above 210. The other trade that I've got on right now, NVTS, we're 2 pennies out of the money on this one as it shows 01s. I've got 03s. I'm looking for this one to continue putting higher lows. Again, that 10 penny level for whatever reason is a bit of a sticking point. $9.10 seems to be where the sellers are weaseling in. We'll have to keep an eye out on this one. Unsure how this cookie crumbles. Susie Fox. Open will drop from here, right? It does everything. It does that every time I go long. I don't think that way, Susie. I get you. Look, sometimes it does feel like the market's against you and these names are looking to take your money. I totally get that. Been there, thrown many different slippers, many different objects, broken many different things all along the way to kind of receive or achieving, you know, that emotional intelligence that you need to be able to tell how you react. I mean, it took me a hot minute to do that. I was not naturally made to trade. You know what they say, right? Hot country, hot blood, right? So,
yeah, hot blood. Ooh, so yeah,
you never heard that one before?
No.
No?
No.
Hot country, hot blood?
Yeah, so things get spicy real quick.
Things get spicy real quick.
They heat up quick, eh?
You see my people, we're always yelling.
Yeah, always
yelling. We're always yelling. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I would never take offense to that because it's true. The fact of the matter is it's true. So that's what I'm keeping my eyes on, guys, right now. We're going to keep our eyes on these three.
Yeah, I was going to get excited there, but I'm like, what about what here? So yeah, we're just building this position, holding the volume-weighted average price. If we can crack this, then we're going to be sitting pretty here, guys, and then we're going to be able to take and move into 79.40, I believe, and then look some off. But yeah, unlimited potential, yeah, I think you're right there. It's a market cap related, so regardless of what the price of the underlying is, then I'm pretty sure it has to be correlated with that market cap. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out, much appreciated. But yeah, let's see what XYZ is going to do, man. This is going to be a big time slow burner, a grind, I think, higher. Q's curling back over, XRP coming back in towards the volume weighted average price. You can see we're obviously experiencing liquidity issues here. So as you gap down, that is ugly. Like, you don't want that from an intraday standpoint. I don't know if that's genuine. If you guys want to double check on that. So just keep an eye. You don't want to get caught in anything, and you're trying to get out, and there's no liquidity, there's no supply. So yeah, that would not be good. Let's see what I'm hot-blooded. Check and see. Is that? Oh yeah, hot-blooded.
Oh, okay.
Remember that song, Hot
I have no
Blooded?
idea.
You don't know that
No.
song? It's in a commercial. I'm pretty sure
I feel
it's
like
in
I should know this one.
Yeah,
that
it's
was the one.
Hot-blooded. I may even be singing it wrong, but it is.
Adair says you're singing it right.
103.
It's a oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All right, yeah, all right.
Google
That's crazy. But yeah, let's see what we got going on. Come on, XYZ. You can find something for us. But with that being said, let's take a look at some of the top performing sectors on the day. It's pretty green across the board. We only have 2 of them in the red, guys. And there it is. Materials up about 1 1/4. Communications 1 1/5. So that's the win place. And then in the show, we got about the utilities up about 0.8 there, guys. And then in the bottom 3, we got consumer staples still positive, up 0.25%. XLV down 0.03%, and then we have the energy sector down about 0.5%. So really, really strong stuff across the board in this overall market. Look for those signs of strength. Sharice printing up. What do you got going on?
Joey, we waited at 4. We got the fill at 4. Take it out at 20. Give me my money, man. Let's go open. It's open for business, but guess what? Anything below $4, $3.90. Sorry. $3.90, yeah, you get that fly, Joey. We're gonna get stopped out. So we're gonna give this one, so there's the ad, there's the original entry, scalp, entry, scalp, entry, scalp. We're gonna keep doing it freaking live here on Open. Let's see if it's got the juice to let this one loose. It's a 440 HOD. We're well off the high into that 4, but that predictable $4 level technical area of previous resistance now acting as that support area comes in. It comes in good. We're gonna keep an eye out on this one for the last remaining amount. Not too much left on this one, guys, so we'll let this one go. Now, TDTH displeases me. It displeases me greatly because that seller at 10 we can't shake. So here's my observation with TDTH. Most of the support comes in at the 10. The outlying support comes into the 20. So my final hurrah on TDTH will be at that $2, $1.99. I'm going to add into that level for a possible flat top breakthrough 210. Like, I mean, I don't think we have not gotten any prints, wick, close, or otherwise. I think those are the only two. Above that $2.10 level, there has been a seller of note there, and you can't see it really reflected on the level 2 because all you're seeing on the level 2 on the gateways are less than 1,000 lots. And I'll submit to you, it's certainly more than that. So we'll keep tabs on that. The other trade we've got on over here, what's this one called? NVTS. I still perceive this one to be putting in higher lows. It is not necessarily putting in the higher highs that I want. But the higher lows are there. Anyway, below the area low over here, we get stopped out on NVTS. I don't think we have taken any prints. Let me have a look. Yeah, I took one measly print on that one. So it's nothing to write home about, certainly. Let's go back to Open. This is coming back into 4. As I mentioned, anything below 4 gets me stopped out. And if that's not the right stop, that's fine. I don't have that much left, and we'll get back in. There, 4 is going to lose. There we go. Now we're really You're short? You're short Open? What is this guy, bro? This guy's going against my trade, man.
That's crazy.
All right, shut his computer down, bro.
Yeah, shut it down. Shut it down. He's done. Get this guy out of here. He's out of here.
All right, man. All right. Well, look, let him take it. Let him take it. Now watch what happens. All right, so Open. No, I want Ope to print. Let the man print. Let the man print. So Obe is short Open. What do you mean? You're sitting there freaking celebrating against me. You don't think I'm going to say something?
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to say something. You see
that's
this guy?
crazy. That's crazy.
He was dancing.
He was dancing.
He was dancing.
He was dancing on you, That is crazy.
No, he's got a good trade on his hands there. Topping tail, candle in the 440. Hope he prints up a storm. Shout out to Obe. He is the one, Cano. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. And I'm going to keep my eye here on NVTS, Joey. This one's displeasing me greatly.
Yeah, same. XYZ is displeasing me greatly as well. You can see that it's really choppy, right? We get this breakout, and the volume doesn't step in whatsoever, all right? So that's not a good sign. We'll wait for the hold. If it does crack, P8, VWAP is slightly different than what we got going on, just because of the data is starting to be collected at different times. P8 is at 6 a.m., where this starts at 4 a.m., right? So... there it is. So yeah, let's see if we can get buyers to step in. Nice strong PA to the top side, so we're going to look for a continuation as long as we can hold this level. I am fully sized in right now. If it starts to work in, then we obviously want to try to make it as big as we possibly can, but otherwise I'll just have to take the stop as what it is. So this is a full risk unit we're in right now and looking for the continuation. Tesla, I don't know what's up with that thing right now. That thing is not good. The market was ripping earlier this morning, and Tesla had other plans, and it's heading right back towards the low of the day. Filled this gap completely. So yeah, it sucks to suck sometimes. And I mean, there it is, consistent lower highs on this pattern. But once this cracks, I think there's going to be a good opportunity to get involved and then take this 380 break, 350 break, and then maybe you can climb higher. So this is another big time lagger. How much we up off of those Liberation Day lows? 50%. So that's something positive to take from that. This is where your boy sold right here as well too. So he did a really good job getting it out at the lows, being sarcastic, obviously. But then we also rotate into one of my fan favorite around here, and that's going to be Robinhood, Sharif. But if you look at this price action here, considering we're up 260% off those April lows, This is a big-time indecision print at an extreme high. I was thinking about shorting it today, and I think there was a good opportunity to do so because you do get that move all the way from 109.31 to about 106.59. Let's zoom in and see what we got going on from an intraday standpoint to see if that short really came into play, and it was only out of the open. So, I mean, there's still kind of signs of this thing being relatively strong, markets moving higher. It's not participating right now, but it may take a couple of sessions or even a little bit longer than what you expect for this stock to cool down. You don't want to be going against it just yet because it is extremely hot, but the same price action pattern was forming on, it was Coin, I believe, yeah. Coin had the same indecision print right at the high, slightly stronger on the intraday session, so just keep that in mind. So there it is, another complete doji star, whatever you would like to call this indecision print, another one at an extreme high on Coin. Now, let's see how much from a percentage metric we are up off of those April lows. This thing has been absolutely monstrous. It's insane. 200%. Bang, bang. That is some big-time moves. I don't know if you can chase it all the way up here. For me personally, CSPs are going to be the way to go if you're going to be looking to get involved in some of these names, Sharif.
What are CSPs?
Cash secured puts.
Oh, gotcha. Shows how much I know about options. Hopefully, I will start that. It's not an option.
Why would you say hopefully? It's, you know how it is, bro. You're probably one of the most consistent individuals I know, so I have no doubt.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
It's just about finding the time, Joey. That's the thing,
I know you're a busy man these days, you know.
Oh, wow. This guy just takes off-camera talk and just puts it on the camera.
Hey, I never said anything.
Yeah. I wonder what people think when you have a smile ear to ear like you're giggling.
I was just saying,
What
I know
a
you sold the
joker,
car.
bro.
I know you sold the car. That's what I'm saying. You're a busy man.
Nah, we're good. We're good there. Yeah, so I'm just watching this NVTS, guys. I'm trying to make a decision as to how I want to proceed here because what I'm thinking right now, straight up, is this could be a flat bottom break, right? Let me make my case to you against my position. Sounds crazy, but this is genuinely what I think right now. So I've moved up the stop. Area high, lower high, lower high, and then look at this. 890 all throughout with the wicks going below 90, but generally the closing prints are 890. So that is the recipe for the flat bottom break. This does worry me, okay? So I'm going to keep my eye on this one. It's stair-stepping lower, and it doesn't mean that it won't be met with a price spike higher, but if I had to take my guess, this one likely will stop out. I've put my stop at 82s. Okay, so that would be below the 20 exponential moving average. It loses a 20. I'm not interested. I could get interested if it goes to VWAP, find support there, but that's all the way down at 860. Nothing for me to do quite between now until then. So that's a lookout. TDTH, let's go back to this one. We got 05s on this one. Again, I don't mind adding into 2 on TDTH just because of the higher low situation. This one is not doing like the other where it's kind of putting in lower highs with a flat bottom break. This one is in fact putting higher lows for what I perceive to be a flat top break through 210. That seller there at 210, we can't shake them. So maybe we shake them on the next attempt. That's my thinking there. But yeah, NVTS is losing the bid. It's dropping down now into 89s from what I can see into 90s. Yeah, this is flat bottom break written all over it. I should just get out here and take what I can, a 10 penny loss rather than insisting to get stopped out. That's kind of how I see NVTS at the moment, sadly, but we'll see how this one ends up doing. You guys, what are you guys looking at? Let me know if there are any other ones that I haven't brought to the attention of the viewers. ATNF, I'm seeing this one move. So this one is going to replace who? WGRX. So we're going to put ATNF. That is a former convict. I remember this one from before. ATNF up 51%. Let's cover this one super quick. Because I said nothing about this one. I haven't had a look at it until right now. Seems to be a 10 EMA on the 5 support. This one was certainly running in the pre-market at 4 a.m. and then 5, etc. It's got a high there in the pre at 270. We've taken out that high. It's an official high today in regular market hours of 292. So this one meets all the requirements above VWAP, above the pre-market high, and about 52% in Greensville. So let's see if we can execute here on ATNF and weasel into a trade. Looks good here, Joey.
All right, nice look there, guys. All right, so this is what we got cooking up. You can see that this continuous downtrend. So until we have the ability to snap, then now my risk is a little bit tighter. So if we do go below the volume weighted average price, I'm just going to hop out of it. And you can see from the 5-minute time frame, this isn't a name that you necessarily want to be involved in for a breakout just yet. You really need the volume to step in, right? Otherwise, then it's probably not going to work out. Consistent lower highs, not something that we want to see. And then the volume's also starting to really, really decay as well. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Amazon is going nuts here, guys. You're right. This has been fantastic. I love seeing this from this stock. It's unfortunate that we're not involved into it. I've loved this name for a long, long time and just never took advantage of it. So you can see big gap up. And right at that 50 to 60% gap fill, I was like, all right, let's get involved at 197, but just never pulled that trig. So yeah, that one's unfortunate. We'll wait for something else. And I told you guys my next potential swing trades. I was looking at MU, but that one's that ship hasn't sailed, which is positive, but a nice indecision print after this earnings session. You have a couple of downs days, about 2-3 weeks of just continuous downward movement. Now maybe you can get that continuous bounce. It was also a hold of around this prior resistance zone. You can see it even closer here. That's a positive sign that you get that indecision print, and then maybe you can aim for this next potential target. That's going to be that 131. But again, I'm thinking maybe there's going to be somewhat of a rotation out of tech here. Things are slightly starting to cool off. NVIDIA is still hovering around some of these highs, and now just starting to consolidate. I think this name's going to be $200 by the end of the year. I don't think there's too much questioning that. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on some of these names. And the quantum space, I like this one. Is it still strong throughout the intraday session? I stopped keeping my eye on it after I started trading XYZ, IO, and Q. Let's see if we have continuously grind higher. No, now coming back in towards VWAP. And then we'll take a look at RGTI as well. RGTI was strong on Friday session. Beautiful print off of the lows, and then you get that move higher, rejecting some of these pre-market zones here. And then QUBT we'll take a gander at as well. QUBT, Oh, okay, yeah, this one's, it sucks to suck sometimes, and there it is. This one's not anywhere near what its peers are doing. So QBTS and IONQ at the top end of this range, potentially around the daily. And then we'll take a look at QBT. S1 before, and there it is, a break of this. Look for that 20 to hold, and maybe we're going to climb higher. Shreve, this has been a steady stair-step pattern to the top side. I mean, it's not the cleanest price action, but it's respecting and holding prior levels really, really well, and then you kind of take an additional leg higher. So it's like, boom, leg higher, hold the level, leg higher, hold the level, boom, boom, big-time move. So if you want to look for the continuation in strength, I mean, look for history to kind of repeat itself, and then maybe we get a hold of this specific $20 level and we can head up into 22, 23. I think that's going to be a positive swing trade opportunity there. So that's what I got my eyes on. Now let's crack this downtrend here on XYZ, holding up VWAP pretty good, but you can see the selling pressure continuously stepping in there, Shreve.
All right, Joey, we got ATNF here, guys. Where do we got it? 77s. It just popped into 93. So we've got bottom wick for now. Underline that, for now. We've got a bunch of prints to the high side. I still have some unfilled there, as you see on the screen. 95, 97, 99 as it zips up back into 89s. I'm looking for this one to hold. I'm talking about ATNF up 53%, but having trouble with that 93. I'm assuming here that we will have the juice to squeeze into that $3 area, and there does seem to be a whole bunch of selling every time we move up into 9s, which is concerning. 90s, excuse me, $2.90, which is obviously concerning. What's keeping me interested here is the kind of the higher lows that we've been putting in addition with the fact that we're super close to 3. You kind of have a feeling that it's going to have that magnetic effect into 3. We'll see whether it does or not. Gonna pack my patience there. TDTH, we got the ad at 01, so now we got 04s on. It's gonna have to hold this area. I mean, I could dollar cost average into VWAP, which is only at 92s, which is basically 8 pennies from where we currently are. I can do that. I don't know if I will do that. I haven't decided yet. It's not because it's gonna get me into trouble. It's because it creates bad habits. Sure, this time around, VWAP is only 8 pennies from the current area. Next time around, it's $1 or it's 50 cents, right? I just don't want to create that bad habit of dollar cost averaging when that is not my move. I will stop out. I will not DCA into an oblivion. And then if it is warranted, Joey, we'll get back in. So I'm really considering here what to do with TDTH. It's got shares on, man. It's done 10 million shares, $2 stock. It's putting in higher lows. let's let this one go. I'm gonna give it to 195s, okay? 195s is the area buy right there. The buyer stepping in at 95s. It loses 95. We lose 9 pennies a share. All right, back to ATNF. Still holding this one, looking for another attempt at the day's high. Currently got 77s on. Here's the deal. I think I'm going to give this to 74. So we still have shares on this one, but I don't want to be DCing as well into this. So let's go ahead and wait like that for the remaining amount there. So we'll give it a little bit below our entry right now on ATNF. So in TDTH, in ATNF right now, let's talk about the good and the bad. So I was right about NVTS. It ended up being a flat bottom break. Right and profitable are two different things. And I should have flattened out here when I had the opportunity. I didn't do that. That's a mistake by me. And we went red. We are red on NVTS. Still positive on the day, looking to kind of weasel back up. So that's the situation right now, Joey. Not much else going on in my world right now, just TDTH and ATNF looking to kind of do some damage with this one to the high.
Yeah, good look there. Good look there, Sharif, as always. All right, let's see what everyone else is looking at. So next stop, the basement. Okay, I don't know what that means. Maybe someone has to move into the old mom's basement there. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. R can't get a green candle to save its life. All right, let's take a look at RCAT. Ooh, QBTS just took a big-time move to the south side. RCAT. Ooh. Yeah, there isn't a green candle in sight. That sucks sometimes, man. That's tough. I mean, if you're short, you're having a good time. But if you're not having a good time. And if you're trying to find bottoms on this, you're most definitely not having a good time. But there it is, hammer candle, breaks the lows, continues to the south side. Just keep that in mind. RCAT struggling on the day. Adair, what do you got for us?
Keep an eye on Microsoft here. We know that this one did have a hack campaign, I guess, that happened over the weekend. Now, apparently, a researcher is coming out and saying that at least 100 organizations were compromised by this hack. So keep an eye here. Again, Microsoft SharePoint-linked hack campaign, according to one researcher, may be affecting at least 100 organizations. Just a bit of an update there. MSFT super range bound for the last hour or so. Nothing really moving here on that news. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Adair. Okay, so now we're kind of rejecting the secondary trend line right here. All right, so that's my signal to get out as it kind of just the selling pressure starts to pick up a little bit here, guys. So yeah, unfortunate that didn't work out. Apologies on my behalf. So we'll try to find something else. It does look like the Qs are going to break through some key support levels right now, but I don't want to chase it necessarily all the way down here, and that would be my fourth attempt, right? You just want to stick to your rules. As much as I do want to take it, I'm not going to because I've already taken 3 strikes and I've struck out on that one. All right, so as soon as we crack this, I'm gonna hop out of. There it is, boom. That's my signal to get out. We're not giving this one much room, right? Considering I've already added. So let's see you later on that one. XYZ. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. Okay, wow.
Fat finger?
Yeah, I just doubled my size. Yeah, oh my days. That's not exactly what I intended to do. That is not good. I don't want to panic just yet, but there it is. We got to get out of this trade. It's unfortunate that I did that, and then we're going to take a substantially larger hit on this trade than what we've intended to there, Sharif. So I'm going to send it over to you.
Yeah, of course, Joey, no worries.
What's going on.
All right, guys, still keeping my eye on ATNF. It came right back into my entry, so I did scalp out some into 80s, and I'm looking to take out some at 85s. Most notably, though, it did hold the 10 on the 5, the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. That is the good side of the equation. The bad side is it is now a lower high with that high of the day into 93s where we got out. There we go. We're back into 85s, but it's a 1 penny spread, and we're still not getting the print. So we won't get the print at 85s until it crosses. Let's see if it does. And then there'll be the last little amount that I take out there until possibly another high of the day. But we did almost get stopped out because we had our stop way too close to our entry, and that's probably not a good idea. So waiting here, waiting as we go unprinted. So it goes in 85s. We don't get the print. Sucks. Let's keep an eye on TDTH, still holding that $2 area, and at the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. It's not a bad look on TDTH. It is, though, putting in lower highs. I'm still very optimistic that this can get above that 210 area. What's the information on TDTH? Give me a second here. TDTH, let's find out. We've got no information on it. That's nice. No flow, no short float, nothing. Let's check my platform here. TDTH, Trident Digital, $154 million market cap. Also, no information on this one. So this seems to be like, why is there a void of information on this when it's been going for years and years? This thing's been running since September of 2024, and it's had a fantastic time of it as of late. Ever since July 14th, this thing has been rocketing. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So not sure why there's a void of information on TDTH, but that's the way it is. So we'll have to fly blind with respect to that for the moment. Yeah, so that's it. TDTH and ATNF, looking for ATNF to kind of continue those higher lows. I'm keeping an eye on open as well, as this one has found support at the 20 exponential. Be on the lookout though, because there's going to be a lot of bag holders above that $4 area, right? It did a substantial amount of volume per 5-minute candle above that 4, okay? Just to give you kind of an idea, just keeping an eye on it here as it makes new highs. So it was doing about 45, 21, 19, 42, 22, a lot of volume above that $4 area. So this one could absolutely get going to the downside as well as the upside. And here we go again. Here comes $4 on open. We could now get a move above 4. We are above the 20. We're above the 10. We've made a 5-minute candle to make a new high, not on a closing basis, but we do have that whole dollar level that still stands in our way. Be careful with open. We're going to Adair for happening now. Then Neil has his lesson of the day.
Are you looking to trade futures like the Nasdaq SPY or even Bitcoin? Top One Futures is one of the fastest growing prop firms out there. They give traders the chance to manage up to $1 million in capital. Pick your path, instant funded, challenge, or pro account, and start trading your way to real payouts and even a live account. In the last 90 days alone, they have paid out over $10 million and they've earned more than 1,000 5-star reviews from real traders. Use the discount code TTV, that is TTV, to save on any account. Scan the QR code or head to top1futures.com. That's top1futures.com and start trading towards your next payout. Here's the S&P 500. Really nice push to the upside throughout the early session. Then for the last, I guess, almost 2 hours now, we've been kind of consolidating near these highs. Let's see if this gives us a breakout. Nasdaq here we'll look at for comparison. A little bit weaker actually than the SPY. The SPY is continuing to consolidate here near its day's highs. Nasdaq, though, hasn't really traded near those days' highs for quite some time. Let's see what that 565 level brings for us. In contrast, the IWM has been doing its own thing all day. Nice push at the open. Now a bit of a rounded top, trying to take out the low of day. Verizon on watch. This is one of the earnings names that we do have here for day one earnings, VZ, DPZ, and CLF. But of course, later this week, we're going to get even bigger earnings names to watch out for. Tesla, among them on Wednesday after the close. Google also reporting Wednesday after the close. Then Thursday, we'll get a fan favorite name around here sometimes. Intel will be reporting. So let's see what kind of intel they give us. That'll be Lip-Bu Tan, the new CEO's first quarter, where he's been the CEO for all 3 months. So let's see what kind of results that brings. But in the meantime, we're going to hear Neil and his lesson of the day. So take it away, Neil. Make sure to like and subscribe and check out this lesson.
Thank you very much, Dara.
Woo!
That's right. And I love that you put in the sometimes Intel's a favorite around here. Look, the lesson of the day is, and I'm going to do this on multiple time frames, when you see buyers and sellers that emerge on a multi-level time frame, you've got to be willing to trade both ways around them. We all know the whole concept of buy in front of support and sell in front of resistance, but there's another side of that equation. What do you do when a long-time seller or an obvious sell level or resistance level gets broken? Do you just not trade the stock anymore? No, that's nonsense. I want to show Apple first because that's the one that got missed. And we'll get to Amazon. Amazon was sort of a more obvious one for all of us. There's times when it's really easy to find a spot where you have sellers in control. I don't know that, like, to me, this one makes obvious sense. Let me just draw a line at $212. So for anyone that cannot see, it's not as if every single time this got to 212, it was rejecting exactly that level. But if you look at the messiness above that price, it more or less ended here on the 7th. And then from there was one day where we challenged above. And in fact, it closed right down around 212. After that, right back to resistance underneath the 212 level. Well, what do you see here at the open on Apple? Right away, it's gapped above 212. So the only question you ask yourself is, all right, are there buyers above the $212 level, or does the selling reemerge? Because pre-market, that's fine. It's above it in the pre-market, but you want to see what the real money does when it comes in. And when the real money comes in, it immediately rejects underneath 212, and it screams to the upside. As a matter of fact, even with the market pulling back, you're still technically holding above it at 213. So there's many ways you can play this. Obviously, it was a clean breakout trade. There's also like the opening wick that goes right back above 212. This dip into 212.10, so you're on a really short time frame, you could be long right in front of 212. I think that's a more tricky one, but Amazon is the easiest one you'll have seen in a while, if only because sometimes the selling isn't mysterious or cryptic. Sometimes the selling is as obvious as you want it to be. On Friday, there was a 226 seller on Amazon. Boom. And then all afternoon. There was one break at the end of the day. That was when the imbalances came out at 350 and they were able to break it. It still closed hugging 226. So there's simply one question to be asked. Like Apple, at the open, what are they going to do at that price? Are the buyers in control all of a sudden, or the sellers at 226, whomever it was, still in control? Because the level is huge, unlike Apple's, which is a little more wishy-washy, this runs underneath at the open because you know there's people looking to short this if 226 emerges again. So just at the open, let it pick a direction. It sells going into the open. That's a 927 candle. But then at 930, what happens? Bought up. Once it retakes 226, it never looks back. So sure, did we all want to play the continuation short and just short at 225.97, all that nonsense that worked on Friday? Yeah, that would have been great because you could scalp it all day long. But the buyers emerged, breaking through that sell zone right away at the open. And once again, just like Apple, it was above that resistance in the pre-market, but that's not the confirmation I'm looking for. The confirmation I'm looking for is at the open, can they regain it? You could say, you could short in front of 226, take a shot at it, but I want that confirmation when after the open and the real money comes in, that one is still going. I'll give you one last final thought on this. Oftentimes, what'll happen is you might see something like, I'm not saying Bezos is selling here or whatever it might be, but oftentimes it's like a big whale that is sitting there holding a level. It could be for an afternoon, it could be for days, it could be for weeks. So that's a good reason why it's at 226 and holding, but then you don't have that confirmation till after the open because that whale order is not sitting there in the pre-market. It's the kind of thing that if it's there, it might get thrown in at some point during the day after the market is open. And that's why you wait for the confirmation, because the big buyers and sellers aren't apt to likely have those massive orders sitting there in the pre-market. You need to see what happens after 9:30 to see if that seller is still valid or whether you're now buying in front of it. Either way, both of those longs were fantastic off the open. I had to show Apple first because it's the one that I didn't do, and I think it ended up being better, but you couldn't have gone wrong. And both times, you saw the seller very clearly, whether it was on Friday afternoon in Amazon or all week long in Apple at 212. Once that seller was confirmed gone, the longs just had to work. So there's your lesson of the day, everybody. Don't be afraid to flip it up when you see a great level of support or resistance and go in the other direction. Take advantage of that information for your trades. Keep it simple, everybody, and good luck rest of the session.
Thank you very much, Neil. Eloquent and informative as always. Neil Roberts every day around that lunch hour drops his lesson of the day.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, as always, brother.
A couple of things over here. So TDTH, we're still doing it with this one. A couple of scalps into that $2 area, but now we're back break even, 1 penny in the money into 95. This one is going to have to hold VWAP, otherwise we get out. keeping an eye on that. Got forced out, sadly, with a tight stop there. That was not smart to put my stop too close to my entry on ATNF. It should have been at prior area low, and here we go right back to the high side on ATNF. It's not exactly rocketing back up into 293s. I think I'm going to get in here for a small position, and then we'll look to basically average in on the higher lows. So we'll punch in at the highs there at 80s, and I'll be looking to defend prior bar low. Currently, that would be around 65 because we're currently on this 70 prior bar low. Let's see if we can get a nice pop up, possibly back into the mid to high 80s, maybe even 90s if it gets really moving here. So that's ATNF. Not really much happening right now in small cap world, sadly. Looking at a lot of these ones giving up the goods, just keeping an eye on the scanner up here, see if there's anything moving and new. I'm seeing OPAD. This one, what is this? Oh no, topping till candle into 343 and then down we go again. OPAD, this one, okay, let's load it up. Let's have a look at OPAD.
4 million shares traded on the session, so that's something positive. Am I going to jump in right away? Absolutely not. Let's wait to see if we can find something, another hole of this $3.60 level, and then maybe we'll try to hop in and maybe find some longs, or maybe I'll just say, hey, Sharif, if you see anything moving, let me know ASAP, because I want to get involved into some momentum here. QBTS is most definitely moving to the downside. Gave back a lot of its move earlier in the day, and then sure enough, now heading back towards the lower end of the range. And then also, what else was I looking at? MU, okay, yeah, we'll get involved in that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But NVIDIA is still hovering around. I think this name's going to be in chop mode for some time, maybe even until earnings. You never know if they could buy it up either way. Either way is fine. If people who know where that's from, either way is fine. But then here it is. I think, see, this is the thing, right? I think that leading into Google's earning report this Thursday, stock's just being bought up. It's been lagging. Potential gap fill right here. Did we knock on that door? 192.50. So watch out. I mean, if something comes out positive with Google, we have a little skin in the game. And then maybe, yeah, but nothing substantial, right? Of what I had. The stream should be all right now, guys. So just make sure you have you refresh, and then everything should be good to go after that point. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. Tesla and Google earnings, I think, is going to be a big time moment, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with those names specifically. Other than that, Sharif, I'm big time just cooling out right now, waiting for that precise opportunity. OPEN, it seems to be one of the hotter names of the day. So why wouldn't I not want to get involved with that?
I don't know. I don't know why not. Exactly. I don't know why anyone doesn't like these small cap gappers, but there's a lot of people that don't. A lot of people, a lot of money.
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
I don't care, right? Come in here every day like a DJ and punch it in. I don't give a
you know what? You know what it is though, bro? What I noticed is that the momentum during the hours that we're trading is still there. Right?
Oh, God, yeah.
You know how when you trade large caps or the overall market, within the first 45 minutes to an hour, the momentum and the volatility cools off, right?
Absolutely,
These things, it's like any given moment, Ish can hit the fan and it's like boom, 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 and everything's going crazy. Stream's like bang. We're like, yeah, let's go. And next thing you know, the thing's up 400%.
Like an animal.
Yeah, and you're like, what the hell?
Like this one here, Joseph?
Yeah. Hey.
Assassino. Boom! Into the high side on your boy ATN freaking F. Go ATNF, go. Aw, Assassino, I was celebrating over here. Adara.
I'm sorry, Sharif. I do have some Fed Chair Powell related news, though, so that could at least provide some intrigue. We know that for a while here, we've had some members of the Trump administration calling for Powell's resignation or for him to be fired. Bill Pulte among them. Now we have a new individual stepping into the ring, Representative Anna Paulina Luna. She's also been a little bit not pro-Powell in the past, but Sharif and Joe and others, she's stepping it up. She's now apparently referring Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell to the Department of Justice for criminal charges, including apparently lying under oath. So Fed Chair Powell now apparently being referred to the DOJ for criminal charges. That's just a report right now from Fox News. We'll have to keep it posted, but this firing for cause continues to heat up for Fed Chair Powell. Congrats to you, Sharif, as we send you back to the Bash Brothers.
Era, look at this trade over here.
Bang.
I'm looking. Get it, Sharif.
Saying,
Thank you, Adara.
How many cents you grabbed there? 15,
Where did we
30?
get in, Joey? We got in at 77s. We took it out at 15. So it's not the best, but
hey, man,
high of day 22. ATNF is on the war path to the high side. It is now up 67.5%. It blew through that $3 like it didn't even matter. And I'll submit to you, $3 wasn't even the level. We kept complaining about that 290 area, right? We had seen that the 290 seller. I kept saying to you guys, this one's putting higher lows. It has a seller at 290, so we wet the beak at 3. We wet the beak at 315. Now let's see what else this one has for us. Does it give us support at that 290, $3 area, Joey, that it was using as resistance before? Time will tell, my man.
I guess look what your boy's in already there. You got it up there. All right, guys, savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3X daily leverage ETFs. Featuring built-in FX hedging, this aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built to active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Check that link in the description right there, guys. All right, well, we got a couple pennies right there on OPEN. Let's see if we can go for this high of the day. I think that's going to be the primary target. I did put in some size here. Now I'm looking at my thing, so I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to do that, but that's okay. We'll give it 10 cents. If it does come back towards the lower end of the range, we'll hop out. But I think this is the move that we're looking for. I'm keeping my eyes on the tape, just trying to hop on Sharif's train right now because he's got some nice ones printing up. Strong tape. This is exactly what I want to see. Are you on open?
Yeah, seller
all right,
at 7.
Let's go.
Careful with
there
that
we go.
seller, bro.
Yeah, but hey, it's aggressive. It's aggressive. This is exactly what I want to see. Boom. Those flushes, aggressive selling.
Yes, Joey.
And that's exactly what I'm seeing. There it is. Another print right there.
Another one.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just going to slowly chip away, but I'm going to hold this one a little bit longer, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
To see, because this tape is strong. Until I see it flip otherwise, I'm going to continue to hold, and maybe we can get that move that we're looking for to around 420. That would be a primary target because we did put on some shares, but now it's starting to pull back in a little bit here. So got to keep an eye on this one. Flush, break through the resistance, and I think we're going to be sitting okay. But the weakness has been stepping in, and you can see the aggressive buyers getting priced lower and lower and lower as well too. So just keep that in mind. It may not get to where we want to, and there it is, an aggressive move again, once again to the downside. So that's it. You want to see it go, or it might potentially break down on us there. So that's what we're looking at. QBTS has absolutely flipped the script here today, guys, and now heading right towards the low of the day. That's a tough look there. So QBTS and some of the quantum names looking relatively weak, and then there's XYZ. That's exactly why we got out of it right at the volume-weighted average price, because we don't want to hold on to losers, and I also doubled up my position, putting 2x risk on that trade, and then it didn't work out for me, so that one sucked. So yeah, that's what I got going on. OPEN starting to come back in, so this might not work out for us.
All right, Joey, bro, stopped out flat there on the remaining amount on open as it lost 4. Here's what I'm seeing on the 5-second chart, and this is what pushed me out. So we had been basically defending this red line, which is the 50 exponential on the 5-second. That's not really what I'm trying to base my trade on, but you look for areas, at least with these small cap gappers, what I try to base the 5-second chart on is where the micro pullbacks are coming in, as well as where it feels like the sellers are in control. And so if we continue to put in these lower highs, I can always jump back in. So that's what I'll be looking for, just to basically hold this 385 area. If it loses 385, I don't think I'm going to be interested, at least in the short term. But right now it is holding trend. It can work its way right back above 4. It doesn't feel like that $4 area is that main area of technical resistance that we had initially on the way up, because we've been through it a bunch of times. It's kind of just like the midpoint, it feels at the moment. So I'll set up again if it's warranted right here on open. Let's see if we can work back in here with the stop out below 95. So we'll go 94 and then we'll give it to 390. So where are we long? We're long, okay. So we'll take some at 3, we'll take some at 6, and then we'll see if we can work up to 8 with that 394. All the way down to 390. So that's what we'll do there. We'll give this one a little bit of room to kind of work there off that $4 area. But if it makes a new low below this area trough over here, then I will get out below that for a small loser. So let's go back now to TDTH. I'm not sure how to, yeah, I think I'm going to stop out of this one. This one is, it's straddling VWAP here from the south side. That's not what I'm in this for. Yeah. There we go. We just got stopped out. Good. Decision made for us here so that I don't have to worry about it. And thank goodness I got stopped out there. Look at that. Just lose the bid super quick. So sadly, we will go negative on TDTH over here. Despite having a decent trade on it to start, we will go negatory on it. So I got no trades on right now. Joey got stopped out again of open as it lost that level. This is what forced me out, just so you guys understand why I was getting my stop there. Let me just show exactly. So we dropped down. We found support at 97s. We popped back up looking like we were going to take 4. So that's where I got in. I'm like, all right, we'll scalp into this high area. And then we ended up losing that level again. So to me, it still feels like the downtrend still intact right now on open with this area making a lower high. So that's just my thing. So I get stopped out of that one for a little bit of a loser, sadly. COUR. Says Jameson. Let me have a look at COUR. What do we got over here? COUR, Corsair. Wasn't this Coursera? Oh, yes. Gotta tell you, $1.4 billion market cap with today 672,000 shares. Doesn't look like it's doing anything, brother. So I'm gonna say no to that. To be quite honest, hasn't done a whole lot. So yeah, it wouldn't be one of that I trade. Sorry, Jameson. Joey?
That's all right, guys. With Trade the Pool swing trading programs, you can get access up to $40,000 in buying power to trade real shares, not CFDs. You can hold positions overnight, over the weekend, and enjoy limited risk. Thanks to a one-time evaluation fee, no monthly payments, no hidden costs there, guys. Take Vincent J, for example, one of the Trade the Pool swing traders. He's already locked in $23,000 in profit. His top performer, NMAX, he shorted it from April 20th to May 30th and pulled in a $6,700 gain. Trade the Pool is giving swing traders the tools, the time, and the capital to thrive. Scan the QR code and enjoy 10% off there. All right, so yeah, my ride there in the small cap world was relatively short, Sharif. That didn't last very long. So yeah, a little bit tougher of a session here for me today, but that's all right. I'm not worried about it whatsoever because I am seeing QBTS start to set up how I want to. But yeah, I got to keep in mind, I did take a couple bigger hits than I was planning on. So now I have to really, really hone in on my risk here, guys, because we don't want to get shut down, right? But we also want to try to put on some nice trades to mitigate some of these losses. So QBTS, nice nice hammer candle right here at these lows. Potential bottom as well too. So you can see that buying pressure really step in right around that $19 level. Nice hammer. We're involved now. So let's see if we can get this move back towards the volume weighted average price. That's going to be the primary target. Market is moving to the south side. So yeah, we were slightly early on the TQs. That's okay. We'll just document our trades. We'll look at what we did wrong, and then we'll just work on it better because the short thesis was right, timing just slightly off, and there's ways that you can fix that. You just slightly adjust yourself. You give yourself a little bit more time in between each trade, but you can also do another thing, very simplistic. Start really small, and then you can just give yourself a multiple dollar stop, right? And if it starts working, you add into the position and you tighten that stop as you go. All right, so that's the way it is. You don't want to get too frustrated. Obviously, it's not fun just taking loss after loss. But welcome to the world of trading. Welcome to the world of trading. But then it's our job and due diligence to put on some nice trades as well. Tesla, I wonder if this name's going to bounce here, Sharif. Another nice hammer candle right at these lows. Maybe we can get a move back into the volume weighted average price. I'm going to double up my size. Oh, no, on QBTS is what I wanted to do. QBTS, because this one's starting to work out for us. So your boy's going to add up a little bit more here. Why does it do that?
I don't know.
QBTS. You got to talk to it for me, Sharif.
I'll have a conversation.
Please, because when
they don't listen to me.
I'm hitting my L2 and I'm trying to just get involved here. It's not allowing me to. It's switching up the ticker, but that's okay. We figured it out because that's also what we do. We figure things out. We don't cry about the problems. We find solutions, baby. And we're going to get involved into some Tesla as well. Let's see if we can get this move back towards view up. We're in two big time names, QBTS, Tesla. Let's see what we can cook up.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
What's for lunch, Neil?
No, man, let me talk about my trade first, bro. Hold on. No, Neil, I'm sorry, bro. I love you, but I got ATNF going here. It is on the warpath. I have a zillion and one exits on this one. Look at ATNF go, man. We got initially,
All right, let's go.
What's going on there, Joey? Initially in 317, added aggressively into that 310, boom, 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 all the way into the high of the day. I have 1 penny off the high of the day. It's a 340 high. I have a 339 out. It's back down into 329. We're on with 10s. We still got shareage. Back into the mid 30s it goes. Oh, baby. We're going to set up now north of 40, and we're going to set up at 45. Let's see if this one's got the juice to let this one loose. 35 showing up again. A seller here really re-upping their position at 35. Can't shake them. Can't shake them. Can't remove that 35 seller. It zigs. It zags. Anything below my out. No, I said that last time, and that was the wrong thing. That was the wrong strategy. That was the wrong strategy to base it upon my entry. It always is. Below $3, I'm out. Okay, so the area hold is going to be $3. It's going to have to hold 3. We're in at 10, so I will risk 10 pennies. I was going to say, oh, I'm going to go break even, but last time I did the break even trade with a TNF, I got forced out and made another high. So I don't want to base it upon my entry. I want to base it on the technicals. Anyway, zigging, zagging, a little above 30, a little bit below. It's that 35 seller we can't shake, and now we're moving back into 34s. There's that 35. He got taken out. It's into 39s. We're now into 39s. Can we take out 40s? Nope. Can't take out 39s. We haven't even shown up 40 yet on the level 2. So that seller at 39 now, not at 40. So we can't shake that person. Back into 38s we go. Now we're not showing 39s. 40s now showing up. Boom! Into the high of the day again. Into ATNF. Let's freaking go, baby. Still several more outs here on my friend Atnif. We're gonna see it. I'm sorry, bro. I lose it. Once we start getting excited here, Joey. All right, so let's see if we can take out these levels. ATNF is on the warpath to the high side, is a 348 high. It did reject the 50 penny, at least initially. Keep your eye on this one. This one is all gas, no brakes. The other ones are retracing. This one is still headed to the high side. The buyers are in control here. It's very clear the buyers are in control. Sellers, watch out. You know, the sellers are going to get their chance, no question about it. But right now, it does feel like the buyers are in control. I think I may have jinxed it, because here comes the selling. Oh, boo. I did jinx it, Joey, because here comes the selling. That sucks. All right, so now I will move my stop out to break even on 310. That's almost at the 10 exponential moving average. That sucks. Michael DCA, you see that, man? You see that? I say the buyers are in control literally the second I say the buyers are in control. Boom. Selling to the downside. Should have shut my mouth on that one. Soothing nature. Sharif calling these places like listening to a football game commentary.
Yeah.
Tell me more, my friend. Whichever football you're talking about, I'm game either way, baby. I like American football. I like soccer. Get it, Adara. Adara, is the water back? It is. Boom. Say it again.
I mentioned it earlier, but I don't know if you guys heard me.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I appreciate you, Adara. Thank you
for that.
Let's go,
man. Come
on. All right,
on.
so what's happening on your side, Joey Options? Look at this guy adding like an animal into his position,
I'll be honest again, this was another big time mistake here. So I just like tripled up my position. I'm like, oh no. But there it is, man. Let's go. This one, boom, double, and then we add another big percentage there. But I didn't want to do that, to be honest with you, not just yet, because just in case we do get caught in this pullback, look how I'm averaging up. That is not what you want to do. This average, totally fine, respectable. This one, not so much, all right? So you don't want to be doing that, continuously chasing higher. It's better to add in onto those pullbacks. QBTS was all right for us. We took a nice little scalp on that one. Okay. So there it is. Just gives us more breathing room there, Sharif. So I don't mind this one. Can't complain whatsoever. Boom, we take the majority of the position off right there, and then it just comes out to the break even, and we're just like, all right, adios. We'll take what the market gave us on that one, and then we will look to get involved into something else. But Google, Gaurav, I know you're long Tesla as well, so that's a positive sign. And there it is, a hammer candle right below the volume weighted average price right here on goggles. But Tesla is what we want to be keeping our eyes out. Continue to grind higher. It's been lagging. I think at this point, we might have the ability to break through this VWAP here, and I think that's going to be a primary target. I do want to add more size into this, and I mean substantial, just due to the price of this stock, so I have to be patient on this one. We'll wait. We're well in the money now. What, 234? Well, not well. I shouldn't say that we're 4 cents, but I mean, when you put on shares, it works. Yeah, exactly, right? It works out. So that's what we got going on. I think QBTS still has potential to go. Maybe I'll get involved in this one here one more time just for giggles, but I'll just I'm just going to go relatively small because I do like this hammer candle right at the lows. This could be a solid potential move right back into view up. And if it stops out, then I'll just give back all that I've gained on that. I'm not too worried about this one. We're here to go green here, baby. We're not here to just do little things. So bang, bang, bang. Let's see what we got going on with this one. Q's big time rebound off of VWAP. SPY right at the volume weighted average price. Google climbing higher. As long as these mags continue to do their thing, I think we'll be sitting in some pretty positions. So we just got to be patient on that front and wait for certain things to come into fruition. There it is. Apple still kind of sucks today, Sharif. You know what I'm about to say. Sucks to suck sometimes. And there it is. On the weekend, we lost our hockey game. Sucks to suck. Yes, it does. But hey, your boy scored.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so we're down 2-0, tied up 2-2. Your boy puts us up 3-2, and then we allow 2 unanswered, and we lose 5-3. So yeah.
Whose fault were they?
They're teams, man. I'm a team guy.
I love that
team guy, right? You know what I mean? You don't point the
answer.
blame on one individual, especially in hockey. That's just not how the boys roll whatsoever. You win as a unit, you lose as a unit. You know what I mean? And even in the world of trading, you got a sick trading partner like Sharif. Win and lose as a unit. I love when this guy's winning, even if I'm having a bad day.
So when I have a bad day, I can blame you, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're like, man, Joe, man,
He's
you
so
boom, 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 boom.
Why isn't this thing letting me out? My flatten key is not working, guys, right now on ATNF, so we're gonna have to punch out. I'm gonna punch out here at, in the money, but I just don't like what it's doing. So sometimes, these script orders, they are what they are. Anyway, shout out to Nimrod, my man. PMN is back, sending 6 shekels our way. Thank you, Nimrod, the OG from Israel. I do appreciate you, brother, and can't wait to see you when you're in these parts again. Told you, got to reach out to the team, but we'd love to have you, Nimrod. Shout out to you. You've been one of the viewers for a long time, and love to see you and chat. Shoot the breeze. Another word there that I couldn't use on. Well, it's not, you can actually. It's YouTube. Usually they don't get mad about that S1 there. PMN. Here's what your boy Nimrod is looking at. Right back above the volume weighted average price. We do have a seller. We know that Nimrod at the $0.5 to basically at the $0.5, even though the wicks go up into 159, but we are stair-stepping up incrementally higher lows, and now we have higher highs, taking out this area trough at $1.20 with this now $1.25. Look, if PMN doesn't rocket up, my suggestion to you would be to look at the higher lows and try to base your entry on a general area low, on a pullback. So it seems to be holding up generally at the 10 EMA on the 5. So make sure you are looking at that if you want to work into PMN. But I want to mention, Joey, quick here. Guys, I tried to mention this last time, but the stream was getting a little bit disrupted. Please vote. It's super easy. See that on your screen? Dollar, MSFT, $, GOOGL, dollar, SPY. Get into the chat right now. Vote for your favor takers every day. It's no longer restricted to 4 options every hour. It's whatever you choose right now. Open, OPEN, taking the freaking cake, guys. 157 mentions, followed by QuantumScape QS with 63, and then MVIS at 60. Get your votes in now. It's basically dealer's choice. You guys dominate what we talk about, and then the top 5 make it on to the afternoon rundown. Neil gives you his look. OB gives you their look. If they traded it, they'll tell you how they traded it and why. If they didn't trade it, they'll tell you why they didn't get involved or how they would have. So get into the chat right now. Super easy to vote, guys. Make sure you're voting every day, and it populates automatically. And the beautiful thing is, you guys can vote literally from the morning on. So from the second we get on the air, Joey, at 8:30, they can vote. It automatically tabulates. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare Fabian for making this. It's fantastic. It looks great. And I think
it does look really good.
Yeah, and you know what? We can't really tell him what's going to be back there, Joey, but something very, very large and in charge is going to be back there, and this may be on it all the time in the backdrop.
Oh, we can't tell them. Yeah, I forgot we can't
Brendo,
tell them.
Yeah,
we can't tell them.
He doesn't want us to give away all the trade secrets.
And give all the treats away.
Been making all this noise with the construction.
Let me.
Well have
got anything? Yeah.
No. Tell them all about it, baby.
Let's go tell them all about it. Let's go. So there it is. We hopped in again, but I didn't take the size that I was in the first trade. But then I know Neil's involved in this, so nice work there on QBTS, Neil. Off of those lows. See, the thing is though, I know I kind of have an idea of Neil's style trading, and I had a feeling he's going to be on this lower hand. Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got in on this 5-minute hammer or 3-minute. I know you like the 3-minute time frame.
Oh.
But I do. Oh, how come I don't even have it there? But you do. You got a better what? You were in this neck of the woods, though, right?
Oh, you'd think I would because QBTS was running first?
Yeah.
No, I took the opportunity to take Rigetti when QBTS
Oh,
reverted.
nice.
But it's the same thing.
Same thing.
It's if you come to my chart, like Rigetti reversion
so there it
when
is.
QBTS
Yeah.
reverted. Same nonsense, right? Like you probably could pull up. You know what though, Joe? Straight up, it might have been better on IonQ because that one moved the most to the downside.
Yeah.
Like IonQ, not really. IonQ's the weakest one. Maybe it's not that good.
Yeah,
but
I
it
think
didn't matter.
that
They all
thing
went at
was
the
more
same
tough.
time. So that was kind of like whichever one you were watching. If you're looking for that mean reversion, the quantum names just gave it to you. I think, IonQ looks pretty bad. You want to be in the other two. Good look over there on QBTS. But Rigetti, same story, everybody. Mom spaghetti, all that good stuff.
Spaghetti. Yeah.
Yo, the best thing is the water's back on, so it's going to cool down in here. We can turn that fan off probably in like an hour.
Yeah, man, we like the heat.
Speak for yourself, dog. Speak for yourself, Joey Shivers.
Hey,
oh
and
my
girl
God.
Remy, and she's all about the heat as well too.
Yeah,
I know Neil likes
she
the
comes
heat.
in like in the winter dressed up,
Yeah.
like she's in like. Can we show?
What do you
Can we
got
show
going
them?
on right now?
Come show the people. Come show the people.
Come-
It's
come
not
do it.
cold.
Yeah,
and
you're like in a
lying
wool
through your
sweater.
teeth. It's 27
Come in,
degrees.
yeah, come show the peeps.
Come show the people, Ram
people.
Ram. She
What
look.
the
She
Ramin's
gets
got
cold,
going
and
on.
I get that. I get that. Your boy Joey Options over here.
Yeah, you're gonna say it. Say it.
I was being nice. No, you can't take off flares.
No, yeah,
you can't
yeah,
take off
yeah.
flares. Yeah.
Look at this thing. It's
Show the
wool.
people,
Oh, no,
Ram
it's
Ram.
not.
Like,
That's a thick one, no.
right there. I mean,
The spin for the peeps. That little spin. Let's get a spin.
shout out to Ram Ram.
All right, shout out Ram Ram. All right, Sharif, do I do it? Yeah, I think so.
What are you doing
I'm
there?
gonna add a little bit more right here, my friend.
Okay.
Nothing substantial, but we
Still
want to
good, though.
we want to add a little bit more right there for this
got that.
potential ABCD pattern. Just because we already did it right there, because why not? And we also want to try to make a trade that's working and make it as big as we possibly can. All right. So there we go. Primary target is now going to be the volume weighted average price. I won't be adding too much more size to this one. We do need it to start working out a little bit more, and I need more conviction. As long as the Nas just doesn't tank, maybe Tesla wants to live in its own parallel universe and climb higher. So that one is what we got going on. It's our primary focus right now. So we're going to be honed in on that.
Joey.
QBTS, we already scalped out of that one. Heavy there, boom, boom. We take that out, stopped out, and then we hop in right again, and then we grab another about 20, 30 cent move on QBTS. But now, we need Elon and company. Come on, Elon. I love you so much, my friend. We need you to climb higher.
You see this assassino? One day he's on this side, one day he's on that side.
well,
you don't know how
Sharif,
this guy's gonna wake up, bro.
Sharif, this can flip in a matter of
Unbelievable.
seconds, right? Like if this doesn't work out, we're no longer friends. But right now, I'm investing in your
Unreal.
company. Let's see what we got. Boom, big time move there in Tesla. Let's get this move north of this key resistance zone. So that's a nice little pop. TSLL
Bang.
is our vehicle.
Attaboy. All right, Joey, I'm going to mention this quick trade, then we're going to do a little early version of the news today. I got back in AT&F at 27s. We scalped up into 37, and then we'll give back one out there as I only had a very little amount, and then so this one ends up stopping out as the current candle did make a new low. Alas, it is finding support at the 10 EMA. I'm still interested here on AT&F, but Nimrod, I'm still interested on your buddy here, PMN. Because this one certainly has a seller at 25 and has continued to have Nimrod, that same seller at 25. But what really is catching my attention are the higher lows. Now, you have a declining volume profile. So you're actually making these higher lows, not necessarily a lot of higher highs, with a declining volume profile. So that's not typically good. But what it says to me is if the volume at least comes in to for the buy side, that is, we could get a nice move up here and overwhelm some locally positioned sellers. But I think that the operative move here will be to get in at an advantageous price. So what I mean by that is, you see this little area over here, I'm talking about from this red area over here onwards. We have been, let's use that 110 area as our area low, even though it did wick below 105. Okay, we can use 105 as well, it doesn't make much of a difference. When you look at every successive area low, it is a little bit higher than its predecessor. So How can you use that to your advantage? If you are biased that this thing takes out that $1.25, I'm going to get involved here on this move into, I'm going to DCA as well. So I'm going to dollar cost average into that 115 area. So I've weaseled in at $1.20. I'm going to go ahead and wait at 16s as well. I'm going to look to basically catch the higher low, the higher lows for a 125 break. That's going to be my move here. I'm going super small share size on a dollar stock, so we're not really risking a whole hell of a lot here, to be quite honest with you. We're going to look to do a good trade execution. So that's going to be looking at getting that 116 beak wetter. So that's my move right now on open. We're going to keep, not open, PMN. So that's what my look there. Now, I don't want to forget about ATNF, because it's still above VWAP, still above the 10, still above $3. You know, sure, it's got a 348 high, it's at 308 at the moment. That's all fine and good, but this could be an opportunity to enter. In fact, if I hadn't been trading, I sat down and looked at ATNF's chart right now, I would likely be punching in at the 10 exponential, okay, which is currently right now. But we'll see what this one does. Now let's go back to PMN, because I just got that 16 add. So I'm looking for this one now to hold the higher lows. So how do I know I'm right or wrong, at least locally? Well, I gauge this area here, this 3-candle pullback on the 5. So from 1205, and then the 1210 candle. The low of the 1210 candle, that's a $1.11. So I put my stop out at 109. Okay, if we don't get the higher lows, that's not what I'm involved in this for, okay? So I'll take the hit if I have to, but I'm looking for this one to put in higher lows. Let's go set up at 19s, and then we're going to set up at 20s, and then 22s, okay? So that's what we're going to see right now on that one. Let's see if it ends up continuing to go. Open is moving up again. Now I perceive a bit of a compression pattern happening here on open. Here's the deal. If you want to base this area here at around 930, the opening print on open, no pun intended, as the beginning of the bull flag, this is what I see. Bull flag number 1, continuation, bull flag number 2, bull flag number 3, pullback. We all know these patterns are fractal. Now, if I was to zoom out, this entire thing here looks like a bull flag. You don't have to look at them individually. Why do I say that? Well, look at this compression pattern with that 440 area high. So that's an area high. And then we dip down, 420 area high, 410 area high. Now it's a 4 area high. So it's a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So you're compressing. Why do I say compressing? Because look at the higher lows. So 360 area low, 370 area low. So higher lows. So you have this kind of sideways triangle shape. That's what we call a pennant, a bull pennant. And the pennant component of the flag, or the pole, the bull pennant, is the compression part. That's what I'm seeing here. So let's see if this one, open that is, gets another run at the high of the day, currently showing me 440s. We'll have to pack our patience and see. I'm certainly interested in getting involved again, but it has to set up in the right way. You can do multiple things here for your entry on open. You could try to buy in the area lows. It's a bit more aggressive with a stop below the prior area low. Sound strategy, or you can take the breakout route. For example, I mentioned that 410 area, that's an area high. It was a lower high. So what you could wait for is a break of the trend. You draw a trend line from the area highs into these area, to the lower highs, and then you wait for a decisive break of that trend. And you say, all right, if I get a new high above that 410 area, maybe 415, I go long. That's a breakout trade, a little bit higher risk, but sound strategy nonetheless. So many different ways to position into open if you are looking for the long here. We'll have to see if it's even a long, that is. So that's the situation right now. So I'm involved in PMN. It's the only trade I have on at the moment. Break even on this one, looking for the higher lows. And if anything below this area low, as I mentioned, we get stopped out. TDTH. Full disclosure, went negative on this one. And as a result of it not holding VWAP. That was then. This is now. It's right back above VWAP, kind of showing me a possible micro head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, kind of right shoulder is the neckline breakout above $1.94, and we're working into 196. I would say a break and a hold above 2 is what's important here, so be on the lookout for that. And then ATNF. It's still holding above the 10 exponential, even though it has 5 candles in a row now with the lower high. So where I got out, top wick, and then that subsequent candle, lower high. This subsequent candle, lower high. You guys get it? Lower high, lower high. So it's still holding above good technical levels, but at lower highs. Open is taking everything out over here. Watch out for open. Here comes that 410 area we were talking about. So there was selling there certainly last time around, which is why we got out. Here we go. We're showing 406s. If open takes out that level, this could be interesting here. But watch out for the bamboozlement. Huge seller at 10s, just absolutely got decimated. Seller at 13 now, can't shake them. Local area highs, 13s on open. It's up 82%. It does look like it might be a topping till for now as the short sellers step in. If I'm seeing it, they're seeing it. It's about who's got more juice. Who's got more conviction? Who's got more money? Who's willing to put on more risk, baby? Right now, we'll have to wait and see because basically an equilibrium right now between buyers and sellers, a little bit above 10, Joey, but we can't take out that 413 seller that was stepping in. So open, rejecting this area for now. And if you base that entry, you got caught. Here we go, 12s again, 13s. That 13 seller is a stubborn seller. There he is again, 13s, and there's barely any size posted.
Get in there, get
barely
in there,
any size posted.
get in there.
No, it's not. That's not the way I set up. These guys hyped me up, man. I was about to punch too. Ooh. That seller at 13 is deadly. Can't take him out. There he's gone. 14's now showing up, but it's so thickly traded. It remains to be thickly traded. Look at this. Can't shake the 14 seller. It's going to be basically short sellers posting at every level right now. Joey's doing the dance. I like that. Yeah, this is a bit of a tougher trade here, guys, on open. Be careful with this one. Yeah, that area, 13, 14, very, very thickly traded and a lot of selling in this area here. For how long, and can we take out the sellers? Who knows? Who knows? Keep an eye out on this one.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that one. Thank you for that, Sharif. All right, man, there we go. We're just cooking up here. Rivian, I seen what you said. I'm just trying to block it out, right? Because I don't want you to be right, obviously. But I'm taking into consideration what you said because I know you're a savvy vet. So, again, gotta take a little information here, but I got to do my own thing and see what's going on. Tesla's still looking pretty strong. I think we can get through that VWAP. Qs are slowly grinding higher. That's a positive note for this trade. You can see that we've been constantly knocking on the door of that 330 level, roughly, just a little bit below that. So we're going to sit in this, aim for that VWAP target, and just try to diamond hand this. If it stops me out break even, considering I'm already at like almost a 1-to-1 risk to reward right now, it will suck. But at the end of the day, you just get out break even as if nothing happened. So just keep that in mind. A couple more tests of this. If we continue to fail to construct some of these lower highs and punch through this level, then I'll start to be a little cautious on what's going on. But I do have some confidence in this trade and in Elon and company today. That is, anyways, things can change on a dime as always. Get it, Adara. And then let's go TSL. Really aggressive ads on that front. Now, as in the chat asked me to do him a solid, and he's like, hey, Joe, can we take a look at the options chain? And that's all I needed to hear. I didn't even need anything else. It's just like, no problem. I'll pull it up, and I'm at your mercy now. So here it is. We'll take a look at the Qs, and we'll see what we got going on from a range perspective for this week. When is this weekend? The 25th. Man, time flies.
25th,
time flies.
best number, baby.
25, your favorite number?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was 88.
No, 25, always has been.
All right, then, all right, good.
Joey, we gotta do something though, because there's big news, baby, especially out of Vietnam's green mobility shift and a major dub win, that is, for VinFast, VFS under the ticker VFS, on the Nasdaq, starting July 1st of next year, 2026. Hanoi will be will ban gas-powered motorcycles in its inner city, kicking off a nationwide move towards electric transport, and VinFast is in prime position to benefit. With major investments in EV tech, battery production, and charging networks, Joey, it has a strong head start while others scramble. VinFast is ready, and this policy only sharpens its edge.
Ooh, that's big time.
Shout out to VinFast.
Yeah, shout out VinFast there. All right, let's find some ranges on the Qs, and then we'll break some things down because there is something interesting. As hopefully I'm saying your name right, AHZ. Otherwise, I apologize. So, where was our low of the day? Where's our high of the day? Where have we kind of been rejecting? I will note 15,000 contracts open at 565 on the Qs. Where is our high of the day? 566.05. All right, so just keep that in mind. Those 565s are currently underwater by 50 cents. That is something very, very big, and you want to keep your eye out on where's that next level. 10,000 open contracts. 570, Sharif. Is that going to be in play for this week? I don't know. But or today, but by this week, maybe, possibly. One thing to note: if we sit on top of the 565s, maybe we can go to 570s. That's that next potential level. But if I'm looking on the puts, it's almost dead. No one wants to buy any puts in this market. It's just too strong. Tesla is failing us here a little bit, Gaurav, as the market's climbing higher and Tesla is just pulling back right into the middle of the range. So we'll keep an eye out on that. But the largest sizes that we have at 555. So let's mark that level out for a potential range this week as well. So there it is. I think that's your bear case. This is your base. And So the 565 may be your base. 570 your bullish case for this week on the options chain. Just going by what the market is telling us, we'll keep an eye out on those things. There's nothing more, there's no larger size for this week's expiration on the put side than at 555. Largest on the call side might be those 15K, but anything can change, especially leading into Google and Tesla's earnings this Thursday after the bell. Check out, Adara will not be here. Oh my days! So it might be my boy.
So here's the deal. Brendo and I are going to do our best to cover while Adara is gone.
Yeah.
It's just basically Wednesday, the only day that we won't be able to because we'll have both a meeting at 9:30 to 10:30, but somebody hopefully will man the desk at all times. So Adara will be very greatly missed. Obviously, she does a killer job up there, and we need to know what the hell Donald Trump is doing at every moment of the day and what he's saying, who he's talking to. Adara, you do a fantastic job. We're going to miss you, but Donald stops for nobody, Adara.
Yeah,
you know that.
Donald does not care. He's literally speaking on the 23rd, the first day of my vacation, at the All-In Summit. So I mean, there's going to be coverage. I will occasionally be in the chat, sometimes on vacations. I can always check X, but I will miss you all. And thank you, Sharif, for that send-off.
Adara?
Yes, hello.
You're weaseling home, right?
I am weaseling home to Winnipeg, Weasel. Also, guys, there will be posts on X at TTV Research throughout the entirety of my vacation. I'm literally up here right now preparing them in between looking for news. Also, keep an eye on Coinbase. I'm just seeing apparently they're launching perpetual futures in the U.S., but I think this is kind of an older headline being recycled.
Bang. Appreciate that. As always, Adara, thank you very much. We wish Adara a very safe trip and a fantastic time with the fam out in the prairies of Canada. Adara, is Manitoba considered a prairie province?
100% it is considered a prairie province.
There we go.
Manitoba, Saskatchewan, I would say, are like really the prairies.
Yeah,
forget about
definitely. And then the mountains start in western Alberta.
I always forget about the good old province of Saskatchewan. I don't know. I've never met anybody
Bro,
from there.
Saskatchewan's a powerhouse now.
Yeah?
Yeah, Scott Moe, the premier.
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
Was he
potash
just,
and uranium.
Ooh,
Say less.
He's just mine it out.
Mine it out.
Mine
and
it out.
your boy Carney is just, he's ready to go. He's ready
Sending
to go.
the cash out.
Yeah.
All right, get the ball
That's the way
rolling.
it is, Joey.
Let's go. Let's go, Canada. Get those natural resources flowing. We need this economy to grow. And what else we need to appreciate in price?
What do we need?
Tesla.
Okay.
But it's not doing so. That's all right. We're going to hold on to this position. Otherwise, Rivian Millionaire, your words are ringing in my head consistently. I think if we do crack this support level, I'll just flatten out and take it for what it is. What happened?
Dorothy, come on. Radioactive fertilizer. I didn't mean they were together, Dorothy. They have potash and they have uranium, not together. You're fantastic. Thank you for making me chuckle.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. I had to chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, of course. You got to laugh once in a blue moon, but not
so
too much around
dope.
here. We don't like too much laughing around here, Sharif.
Okay, my bad.
I'm joking.
Stay quiet.
Obviously, no, I'm obviously playing. No, but Palantir not too bad. I mean, this stock has been on a big time move, right? You got to take that into consideration. And the fact is that it's probably going to have to cool down at some point. So just be careful and cautious. Don't be chasing price all the way up here, in my opinion. Even though we have established new highs, it's just there's too much potential, I think, risk looming. Even though earnings are strong, we're starting to cool off on some of this tariff news and everything along those lines. It's just that the move that we've been on it's a big time move, and I don't know if it's sustainable. Yeah, Tesla not working out for us.
We have major conversations we have to cover here.
Okay.
So there was a heavyweight championship fight this weekend, and it was for the undisputed, all 4 belts, heavyweight championship of the world. 100,000 people. at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more because they had the grounds
Yeah.
as well filled in addition to the stands. And Joey, it was not as people had predicted, but very much as you and I had. It was an ass whooping.
Yeah, yeah.
A straight up
too good.
ass whooping.
I'll always say that it's the best punch in all of boxing is that check left hook.
And the thing is, that he set him up with it too. It was not okay. So number one, we're talking about Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Dubois? No.
Dubois.
Dubois. Sorry, Dubois. Fantastic fighter, Daniel Dubois. By the way, great. And he's only 27 years old. He's got a hell of a chin, but yeah. You know what Usyk's got in his hands there.
Yeah, he's got stone.
Man, Ukraine produces some dang good fighters. Dang, man.
Yeah,
both the Klitschko brothers.
The Klitschkos?
And,
I thought they were Russian.
Nah, man, they're Ukrainian. One of the guys.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. You're right. He was a
mayor of Kyiv.
Yeah, and he was. I've seen him on the front line.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, he's a Ukrainian fighter. He's going to be there to support him. Dude, Usyk is now the two-time undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, in addition to already having been the cruiserweight, undisputed cruiserweight heavyweight championship of the world, the only fighter to have ever done that, to be undisputed, I think, in two weight classes or in those specific two weight classes, and then a second undisputed heavyweight championship. What did you think of the overall fight, just right from the get-go?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be complete domination. I didn't think it was like anything substantial. I knew what Usyk was going to go in there and do. His style is so weird, and he's
ugly.
And he's a southpaw, right? Too.
Yeah.
So it's just like, man, you just got to watch out for what this guy can do.
It's unbelievable.
And think about it. Think about how it threw Tyson Fury off. Like Tyson Fury is substantially bigger than pretty much anybody he's ever fought. And then Usyk has just had the ability to kind of like subdue him. Yeah, I think this. I didn't think he had any chance to beat Tyson Fury in the first fight. To be honest with you, I didn't think he stood a chance. I'm like, who is this guy coming up from cruiserweight to fight probably one of the best heavyweights of all time? Especially when you've seen what Tyson Fury done to the likes of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder touches you. Deontay Wilder touches you, you're going to sleep. It doesn't even matter. He'll breathe on you. You see what he did to that Hellenius guy? Like Hellenius, it was like the most awkward punch. It's like bing, and then the guy was out. It's like, yo, what happened right there? Yeah. So I forgot it was on early, so I did miss the majority of the card.
Same. So no, I didn't miss it though. I checked like a couple hours before. I wanted to make sure. Yeah. I kind of knew when that whole thing was setting up, man. And what a heavyweight fight it was. I hope you guys caught that because it was one of the better cards that I'd seen for a while, especially in the heavyweight division. You got to love this guy, man. Number one, I just like his character. I think he's a hell of a character. He's a family man. He's a hardworking guy, and he doesn't talk any crap, which is not great for selling fights. But when you got hands like that, I mean, they do all the selling there.
I just don't think he knows how to talk any crap. He's like,
but he doesn't seem like the guy either.
In his post-fight speech, he's like, I just want to go. I remember the last fight, he's like, I just want to go home and stare out the window.
He didn't even want to talk with the next fight.
He's like, I just want to go home and look out the window and just stare at the sun and the stars. I'm like,
dude,
all right, to each their own, brother. To each their own.
I was really
And he does it for his dad, too, which is big time.
Man. The post-fight interview, I want to thank Jesus. Jesus. It's like that's how you say it. But it's good. It's just funny. I think he's a hell of a guy, bro.
He's a looker, too. He's obviously not... He's got a defined look to him. So.
Yeah, he's got crazy eyes. He's got crazy eyes. He looks like he's insane. But he's not. He's like a great guy, man.
But see, the thing is, though, that's what these fighters have, man. You got to understand that some of these guys, like you have the Conor McGregors who are just all around crazy, but then you have the average dudes who just have the ability to flip the switch and become absolute killers.
Absolutely.
Right? And that flip switching is scary.
And there is kind of that dual personality kind of thing.
That's exactly what it is.
Let's not leave the other OG there. Obviously, at how many years old? 46 years old.
Manny.
Manny Pacquiao draws a fight against one of the top fighters in his division.
Azteca.
Yeah, man. 46 years old. This guy did 12 rounds at a high pace. Sure, he didn't win. It ended up being a draw, but like, hats off to you, dude. I mean, you're a hell of a fighter. You've done it year in, year out.
You see your boy Turkish. Jake signed his side of the fight. Or
AJ? That's going to be great. I think it's...
You think it happens, though?
100%. I think AJ probably knocks him out.
Oh, absolutely.
which is fine. I think that, look, bro, I'm
You know what,
I'm done underestimating Jake
You can't,
Paul.
you can't.
Like, he
you can't,
works
you
really
can't,
hard,
yeah.
and he has a lot of money to bring in the best
talent,
trainers around there.
Dude, if
to
Jake
spar
goes
with the best
even
guys,
like
right?
4 or 5 with AJ, that's huge, man.
Of course it's
yeah,
huge.
Yeah,
the whole thing is huge. It's been huge.
Yeah.
He's been fighting people that he should have no business fighting.
Yeah,
he has no
exactly.
pedigree. He had what kind of amateur background? He was a YouTuber.
Bro, he was
on Disney
fighting.
Channel.
He was literally fighting YouTube fighters in his amateur, and then went up and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna knock out Nate Robinson." Knocks him out, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat Tyron Woodley's bum." Beats him up twice, KOs him. Then he's like, "I'm gonna knock Ben Askren out. Hope he gets well." Ben Askren, see you later. Knocks down Anderson Silva, and the list goes on. It's like, yo, you can't underestimate this kid.
Exactly, you just can't.
Like him or not, he's good for the sport.
Agree. Adair.
Sorry, just be aware here. BYND is moving beyond meat. I cannot find any news on it, but it does have about a 39% short float. And we are getting tons of social media attention here. Like, we're talking 5 to 10 posts a minute, and they are getting faster. So tons of people, I guess, excited about this. Looks like a bit of a meme mover for BYND. Back to you.
I get the commentary out there, Joey.
Yeah.
I do. People think the fights are fixed. There's that whole narrative out there. I get all that. It's kind of hard to believe that a YouTuber or somebody this late into their life could become so good so quickly. I get all that, and I respect your opinion. But really, there hasn't been evidence.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's that good. Like you said, he has the resources, man. And he had a high school background wrestling.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He was a wrestler back in high school. Yeah. So, I mean, it's combat sports.
Fair.
I don't think he started like when he was 23, 24, and he has the money. So
We talking Jake Paul? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I don't.
Who do you think we were talking about?
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure because you were saying the YouTuber thing. For me, I'm sorry. Once a man that got married on MTV for money, always a man that got married on MTV for money. He was a scammer. He got on Disney. He got fired from Disney.
You are a person who really likes law. You like your chain of evidence.
I
you
do.
like proof. Where's it at?
Just look up MTV and the Tana and Jake wedding.
No, I know that. I know he did all that.
That's fair.
goofy. He probably was trying to get the views. What I mean is about the fights. Like,
the fights,
I
okay.
have been at a loss to believe that he's been able to achieve this kind of progress with like no background. But the fact that there's no proof he's faking the fights, though.
Yeah, that's true. And he's got the muscles. But yeah, I'm sorry. I will always only ever be able to think of it's everyday, bro. And for that reason alone, I cannot take him seriously. I apologize.
And listen, people say he fights washed up people, guys, but think about what boxers do their whole career. They just fight these lower ranked individuals. It's like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? He actually fought certified champions. You'll never you'll never go through a lineup. Like, listen, I know I'm backing this guy, but you have to give him some credit for the individuals he beat. Like prime Anderson Silva, probably one of the scariest people on the planet. Then you have Tyron Woodley with his run in the UFC up into a title. Monster. Like, these people are legit grown-ups and legit fighters. And this kid, essentially with no extreme boxing background, came in and beat all these jack of all trades. Give him credit there. Give credit where it's due. You can call them fake, but they're not fake. Those guys aren't going in there to lose. And unless you're paying me $100 million, I guarantee you they ain't going to lose that fight. So
I like it. People are like, does Sharif think WWF is real? Yes, I do.
It's not real. What are you talking about?
I totally think it's real. I think all of that stuff is not scripted at all. What do you mean? It's kind of how I live my life.
There you go. The poll is up. Legit or fake? Let's see what we got going on for Jake.
I think most people won't like the fact that he's successful. Yeah. And that won't like the fact that,
he's not a likable individual. He's not a likable individual whatsoever.
He's not. Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if he has the ability to go X amount of rounds with AJ, people will be like, you know what? Good work. One thing he has to do, though,
in AJ's backyard, he's probably going to fight in Wembley.
He needs to lift those hands up, because if he has his hands down with AJ with his style, he's going to be in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. I think AJ knocks him out. I think AJ's got bombs in his hands. But I think that Dubois was just too quick and too young for AJ last time around.
Oh, yeah. Fair,
that was 10 months ago, believe it or not, right? I mean, it feels like a year ago now, or more than a year. But yeah, that's the situation there. So I love boxing, man. I don't mind YouTubers jumping into boxing, especially if they can bring a lot of eyes and bring, you know, the hype back into boxing. A lot of it have been stolen by the UFC and mixed martial arts, and YouTube kind of, boxing went by the wayside there. And obviously that was not, I was not happy with that because I really love the sport. It's one of my favorite sports.
Because there's too much ducking and there's too much not of the big names fighting the big names. And that's what led me to the, yeah, exactly.
And
that's what led me to the UFC though. It's because Dana White's like, if you're at the top, you're fighting the next top guy. There's no questioning that. You have to fight, if you're a champion, you're fighting a top 5 fighter.
Fair.
There's no question in that. If you're a champion in boxing, you can fight a low-ranked individual who has zero chance of winning. And that's what the majority of boxers do throughout their career.
We're going to Adara.
We actually have some news here from OpenAI, so keep an eye on Microsoft. OpenAI, of course, not publicly traded. The company has signed a strategic agreement here with the UK government. So OpenAI and the UK apparently signing a strategic partnership. They're basically planning on expanding AI security research collaborations, and they're looking to invest in UK AI infrastructure like data centers, find more ways, I guess, to use these taxpayer-funded services to make the most of the latest tech. So interesting look here for OpenAI. And guys, make sure to vote in the chat. $, your ticker of choice. Back to you.
OpenAI, Adara, open into the high of the day, $4.45, back into the highs. Guys, here we go again. I've set up on the north side of 50 now. There's a prohibitively large seller at 45s that just got taken out. It is now a 48 high. Be on the lookout here for that $0.50 break, but every penny, we are being met with a wall of sellers. There's so much chop and churn. We are over 1 billion shares traded on the day on open, over 1 billion and going, baby. 48 seller and remains that way. Joey, here we go. 49s now. Big seller at 49s. I'm waiting at 51s. Can we shake the seller at 49 and 50? Go, open, go. It's got a lot of selling over here. Let's pack our patience. Now, this might be the opportunity here to maybe add into the position on a rejection of the $0.50. It's how deep it's going to go and how bad that rejection is going to be that's going to kind of dictate that. So I've only got one beak water left on this bad boy, so I can, no, that's not true. Got a couple. So we'll take out one here at the high, and we'll wait for that $0.50 break. Otherwise, I want to get in some more here on a pullback into a predictable level. Now, I want to watch, does that $0.25 step in, that third of $1? Why do I say those levels? Because that was the original level at 430. When we came into that level, we couldn't shake the sellers there, and we dropped all the way down back into 3 2/3. Alas, we make our way right back up into the high of the day. So where do the buyers step in on a rejection of the $0.50? And that's exactly what we're getting right now, a rejection of the $0.50 to be expected. So I'm going to keep my eyes here on OPEN, looking for more, baby. What do you got, Joey?
Yeah, so there it is, guys. Okay, there we go. Nice little shot there. Open just absolutely leading the way. Yeah.
Got to mention these. How many we got? Got 195 mentions for Open. So far and away.
Yeah, I'll do one more here. I'm gonna put Open in there as well too, guys. So make sure you get $. And then the ticker that you want to see is QS QuantumScape there. MVIS, I don't even know that one. MVTS and BBAI, all looking good. And I love how the symbols represent each individual one there. So really nice work. I did take 80% off there. Rivian Millionaire, you are right. We may be holding this a little bit too long here, but the market was grinding higher, and I'm just expecting Tesla to do the same, but it doesn't want to participate just yet. Big time gap up on the daily, and then now we filled that gap. But here it is. Boom, you get aggressive, right? Probably would have been a little bit better if I got aggressive tighter, and then we can have that big time move. But we won't complain about this. Add up, double up, triple up, quad, and then there enough. As we failed to break through that 1244 level on TSLL, we take 80% of the position off there, and we're just going to leave 20% remaining to see if it does decide to break up. And I think at the break of this level, volume kicks in. We head back to VWAP. There's going to be an add opportunity for a quick scalp. You grab 10 lots, whatever you want to be, boom, take that move higher to see if you can get that move to VWAP. Still slightly positive here. So there it is. Tesla's still negative on the day. because it's just 2 times that leverage. But yeah, let's take a look. I'm going to pull up Tesla here, and we're going to do a quick comparison. And we're going to look at we're most definitely doing it live. We're going to take it live here. But we want to also take a look at the options chain to see why we can't break through that 335 level, and then why we're holding right around this 227, and why 230 is a specific key level. And I think the options chain will tell us a lot. If not, it won't tell us anything. All right. I'm just curious to what kind of sub Neil had. That's really what's been going through my mind. I know random and all over the place, but 11,000 contracts at 330 right there, guys, and that would make some sense on why we're continuously knocking on this door and we can't break it, because it is the largest amount of size that I'm seeing next to that 350 level, which can be in the works for this week. Maybe we get that magnet effect on Tesla. Let's zoom out and see what we got going on. But there is a supply zone right at that 330 level, and that's why we're struggling, because there isn't enough demand in order for us to absorb that. But where is 350?
Where?
Right here. Well, I was looking for a tree. There it was. That was a genuine question. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
bro.
there it is. There it is. But there it is. So you see this downtrend. Maybe if we sit on the backside of this, you see how we're forming those consistent lower highs right there,
sir.
Sharif? But we do have this additional channel to the top side. So maybe we can get that move. And I think if we sit on top of the backside of that channel, we can get that move into 350 by the end of the week.
I had such a funny thing to say, but I'm not going to say it here.
Is it appropriate or no?
You could kind of
say it.
Say it. Nah. It's I'll say it to you off camera.
If you're making fun of me, man, you can.
No, actually, it was not making fun of you at all.
All right, dude.
It was like a play off what you just said, but not making fun of you at all. Anyway.
All right.
Shout out to Susie. I appreciate you, Susie. So I'm back into open here for a higher low hold. I've got 32s on. So let's see if we're showing 36 as a prohibitively large seller. I know I've said that many times, but there have been prohibitively large sellers at 36. Just got taken out. Now there's an even bigger seller at 37s. He just got taken out. In the 40s we go. We're doing it freaking live again on open. Right back into the high, not into the high, but into the, into my prints, that is, of course. So let's go. Sorry, I got excited. I'll set up at 45. What I'm looking for are higher lows on this. So anything below prior bar low, I'm out, because it's been holding prior bar low essentially since 1240. It is now 115 or almost 115. So anything below $4.27 gets me out of the trade. That is prior bar low, the candle at 105. That closed at 105. I will get out of that. So let's go ahead and throw that. Stop in there right now to lock in some profits if this one does lose it. We're going to go 424. So I lied. We're going to give this one a couple of pennies below our that prior bar low, and we'll go just like that. So there we go. We've locked it in. And now come what may. BSGM, there are a bunch now that are moving now, though, guys. Oops, there we go. BSGM is headed to the high side, one that I am negative on. This is one of my biggest losses on the day. This one and NVTS. So these two over here, this one and this one. I did very poorly on this one. BSGM and NVTS did poorly on both. So yeah, we'll look to do a little bit better, but neither of these kind of set up in the way that I liked. Certainly not BSGM, which actually lost VWAP, lost the 50, lost everything, kind of found a random area to find support at, so I wouldn't have traded that well under my system whatsoever, so I don't feel too bad about that. NVTS, this one was obviously looking to flat bottom break. I could have been break even on this one multiple times, but I insisted on staying in, so NVTS is on me. BSGM, I did nothing wrong here. I executed under my system, and it ended up being a loss. So that's fine because, well, that's just the way they go sometimes. ANTF, this one did kind of lose the 10 and the 20. It's finding support here at VWAP, but I've been worried a lot about these ones using the 10 as resistance after initially using them as support. So look at ATNF here. The entire time it's moving up. It's using that green line as support. Then all hell breaks loose. It breaks down below it. And now for the last, I want to say 20 minutes or so, it's been using that green line, the 10 EMA on the 5, as resistance. So that's something that I'm more alive to lately that I hadn't been alive to before in the past. So ATNF, if it can get back above that 10 EMA on the 5, I could get involved in that one again. Currently, I've got open short, and that's not what I want, so I will flatten out with that. I didn't even know those were easy to borrow, and so we'll just take a break-even trade on that and get out of that. And as Neil always says, if you find yourself in a position that you didn't intend to get in or get out, just flatten out. It's really that simple, especially if you're not really in or out of the money. So keeping my eye on open as it finds a little bit of support at the 10 EMA. Joey, I'm going to do the news.
Yeah.
Anything you want to start on or mention before I weasel into the news?
No, QBTS was really nice. I think it gave us another opportunity to get in, but I was just so focused on what we had going on with Tesla.
Okay.
But QBTS was nice there, guys. You can see on the 1 minute, we get in there, we double it up, we take some off, eventually get stopped out. I'm like, all right, hold on, that was just a lick grab, pull back, whatever you want to call it. Obviously very different things, but there you go, you get that move higher. We just take that one off, and then boom, it holds that 5 minute candle to a T, which is really, really beautiful. And then you just essentially go linear right here, all the way into the volume weighted average price and a little bit north of that. So yeah, missed opportunity there, but we're not gonna cry home about anything. We'll figure something else out here.
Are you kidding me?
What happened?
You heard about that 14-year-old, right? That killed the woman. It was a botched robbery. He's all over the internet talking about how he didn't mean to kill her.
In Toronto?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and they released his name, which they never do because he's a young
minor.
offender.
Yeah,
But they got judicial authorization because it's been happening a lot more. So they've been getting a lot more judicial authorization to release. And they release his picture, but it's a temporary thing.
Oh,
but once it's on the internet, it's on the
there?
internet.
Do you have
Like,
the picture on there?
yeah, it's on Six Plays.
Oh, okay.
But the point I think I just got a message that he got released on bail, which is insane because he's up for second degree, which is not small.
That's crazy.
You should see the way he talks about so nonchalant, matter of fact. He's like, oh, it was a robbery, it went wrong. I don't know if she was fighting. I didn't even really kill her.
Yeah, some people some people are.
Well, he's 14.
Some people are disconnected like that, though.
He doesn't know what the hell.
He
anyway,
doesn't.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
but see, at that age, you should be able to decipher what's wrong, what's right, and what's wrong. And if you have that emotional detachment, there's obviously something else.
Something's going on, man. Yeah. And the thing is, what sucks is that if
you're not empathetic, then you're not.
Yeah, you don't have it. You don't have that empathy.
Yeah.
What's it called? It used to be called the Young Offenders Act. I think it's called the Youth Criminal Justice Act now. Anyway, they have tiers, Joey. So if you get slapped with a first or second degree and you're between, say, 14 and 15, there's one sentencing guideline. 15 or 16 to 17, a different sentencing guideline. So he'll face the lower end of the sentencing guideline, which obviously.
So he'll probably do a bunch of years in juvie.
And that was super close to where I live, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what, he just tried to take her car?
404 and 401. No, she was like at some, I think, just a regular supermarket.
Yeah.
Literally walking back to her car. He sees her. And then you know what he's like? He's like, I yoked her.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah,
no
you got to see the way
way.
this guy's talking online.
Some people are just.
Anyway.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's how it is, man.
Crazy.
How it is.
Anyway, let's. The reason I even mentioned that is because I got the notification on my phone that he might have been released. I was just mentioning that. All right, guys, let's talk a little Block. Formerly Square, obviously now ticker XYZ, all over the place. Shout out to Jack Dorsey. Shares jumped 10% in the pre-market after news of inclusion into the S&P 500, replacing the outgoing Hess Corporation, which has now been acquired by Chevron. We went through that whole thing last week with ExxonMobil and Chevron fighting over Hess because of the Guyana reserves, and that is like, I think, 11 billion barrels of oil or something prohibitive like that. Inclusion in the S&P 500 boost institutional interest as these index funds, ETFs, Joey, they got to buy the shares if they're going to mirror the S&P 500. JP Morgan is estimating that ETFs or these index funds are going to add about 52.4 million shares of Block XYZ could be added if vis-a-vis the index tracking. The change takes effect on Wednesday. So the inclusion starts on Wednesday, not today, but we got news of it today. It's a major milestone for the fintech sector, man, that's really been developing lately. We know SoFi, Hood, a lot of these DeFi fintech players have really been moving as of late. Digital payments as well as financial apps have kind of gone mainstream. This validates Block's evolution from the Square kind of business model that they had to the broader blockchain-focused financial player playing a bigger role in the U.S. financial system. JP Morgan says Block deserves a higher multiple due to strong product momentum as well as the marketing success that they've encountered, and sees inclusion certainly as a catalyst. I didn't need to read that from JP to know that. Block sits, though, at the convergence of traditional finance as well as crypto, offering POS systems. Like my brother-in-law uses this for his little coffee store there in Orange County, and he swears by it, Ram. What? There's a short posted on this, guys. It's pinned in the chat. Ram absolutely kills these. You'll find it everywhere on YouTube as well as all the other social media platforms, Ram, or just YouTube? All our social media. It's in there. Make sure to go and check it out. Shout out to Ram. Also, Block also does peer-to-peer payments as well as Bitcoin services, Joey. So adding Block to the S&P 500, definitely a big dub here for your boy, what's his name? Jack Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, here it is, guys. Pretty choppy stuff here on the day. Weak 5-minute opening drive. But this is it right here. Post-market, big time move up. That's Friday, all the way from 73 back up to 81. Looking for the continuation and strength on the day. Yeah, maybe, but it didn't come in. You'd have to get in at the lows and really range trade this name. Let's zoom out in what we got going on, and that's part of the gap. And you can see we have now breached it, entered this gap here, but there is some big time key resistance zones right around that 80 level right there. So keep in mind, this might be a next target on XYZ there, guys, all right? So that's where we got cooked up.
Let's let you read that while I do this one over here. NVIDIA, big, he's insane.
This guy,
so good.
There's no way that's real.
It is. That's the funny part about it. It's all real, Joey.
That's crazy.
All right, let's talk a little NVIDIA Assassino because they're going to have a problem sending the newly reallowed H20s out to China. They can't make them because they canceled the previous manufacturing order with Taiwan Semi, and Taiwan Semi's reallotted that manufacturing capacity to other companies. I just summarize the story in 2 seconds, but I'm going to read the entire thing anyway. So after President Trump's reversal of the H20 chip ban, major sales tech companies like your ByteDance, your Alibaba, they rushed to secure NVIDIA's AI chips. The sale frenzy really reflects lingering fears over another political policy decision and a reversal by the United States to disallow the export of the H20, so they're trying to get their hands on it as quickly as they can. However, NVIDIA has told their Chinese customers its H20 inventory is actually quite limited and it won't be able to restart production of the H20 anytime soon. The company previously canceled manufacturing capacity with Taiwan Semiconductor due to the April ban, and restarting it, according to the company, would take about 9 months. That's Jensen saying it, not me. TSM's facilities are apparently fully booked and production lines formerly used and we're going to be outputting H20s have been repurposed for other clients. NVIDIA's current H20 inventory includes both finished chips and wafers still in the packaging phase, with total assembly taking approximately 2 to 4 months, according to some reports. NVIDIA had been developing, though, this is really interesting, Joey, listen to this. They've been developing an upgraded version of the H20 with advanced high bandwidth memory from SK Hynix, a South Korean company. So SK Hynix recently warned NVIDIA of limited additional supply for these upgraded chips for the memory, creating yet another roadblock for the export of the H20. So not only can Taiwan Semi not give them the capacity, but this more upgraded version of the H20 that uses new memory, that will also face supply chains, Joey, as HK Hynix can't get all that in. Last but not least here, NVIDIA wants to know how it can best meet the demands of Chinese consumers. So they're doing a demand forecast and feedback from Chinese firms to evaluate whether to resume the H20 production or to push the Blackwell chips once they become available for export, because you can't even sell the Hopper. You can't, you're not, there's no way you're selling Blackwell. So the outreach aims to help NVIDIA better navigate, obviously, the geopolitical and the logistical barriers while maintaining a foothold Chinese AI chip market.
Absolutely. $200 by the end of the year. NVIDIA. H20 is back on the table. Golf deals with Qatar and Saudi Arabia. You like that? I did that one there. Hey, I did that just for you, brother. I did that one just for you. I got to make a trip over there one day to see what those guys have got going on. But in all seriousness, guys, still extreme levels of demand for all of their chips across the board. H20, the Blackwell. There's just so much going on for this company, especially from a fundamental standpoint, and I think that's how it needs to be looked at. We know at the beginning of these tariffs, Jensen was not allowed to sell the H20. So what happens, they go to sovereign nations, they go to the Gulf countries, and then now they're looking to, they strike deals, big time deals, for them to start and build their AI infrastructure. That's just the start. That's only going on for 4 or 5 years. The chances of them needing more are extremely high. Now the H20 is back on the table. This name is going to have a $200 tag right in front of it, I think, by the end of the year. There's no questioning that.
Absolutely, sir. So. Let's talk a little Verizon, not a stock we often talk about, kind of boring. Telecom is so past prime, like the early 2010s, late 2000s, when these bad boys were moving. But anyway, Verizon lifted the lower end of its 2025 adjusted profit growth. It's about 1 to 3% up, or sorry, 1 to -3% up from the 0 to -3. Free cash flow guidance was also raised 19.5 to 20.5 billion. That's up from the prior range of 17.5 to 18.5 billion, with the quarterly EPS here being a beat of $1.22 on revenue of 34.5 billion. That topped the consensus estimate of 33.75. So a beat there on the top and bottom line. Let's talk about how they did. They're losing wireless subs, okay? So wireless revenue did grow 2.2% year over year. It was driven by higher tier plans with bundled peers like Netflix, bundled perks, add-on services and bundling are helping offset subscriber churn and margin pressure in the U.S. market. But look at this. They lost 9,000 postpaid phone subscribers in Q2 with the expectation of a 3,000 sub gain. That's where they lost. But they did make up some in a second. I'll show you for their fiber and their internet. The drop really was attributed, the drop in their postpaid phone subscribers, the drop was attributed to price hikes that they made in January, as well as intensified competition from their rivals. We're talking about T-Mobile, AT&T, Comcast, Charter. But where they did do well is they continue to add broadband users, almost 300,000 here, 293,000 new broadband subscribers added in Q2, showing strength in fiber, obviously, as well as fixed wireless bundles. They recently also won regulatory approval for a $20 billion acquisition of Frontier's fiber business, which would certainly help expand its internet footprint, which seems to be, Joey, the one area or the one sector that continues to grow, because certainly losing 9,000 postpaid phone subscribers, not the look you want. So Verizon, any comment?
Yeah, I mean, look at this thing from an intraday standpoint. This is insane. It essentially hasn't looked back, right? You get this pullback, you hold some of these key levels, and then boom, 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 boom. You get all the way this move up here from a low of around 41.72, and then it's now trading around $43. So that's a big time look there in VZ. And then sure enough, you're at the lower end of the range. You get this gap up. One thing to note, this is going to be a key level in order for it to break. Otherwise, it might just head right back into this consolidation zone, and you don't necessarily want that. Don't chase. Wait for that opportunity. Always, if you don't want to chase and you have the cash, CSPs are the way to go. Sharif, CSPs?
CSP?
Yeah.
Hold on. Something certified puts?
Oh, cash secured. Cash secured. That's how I put you on the spot there, man. That's all right, brother. I know you get it next time. I know you don't suck. But I remember I tried to swing on this, me and my good buddy GV, years and years ago. That's crazy that I've been trading this long. That didn't necessarily work out, but I mean, with that being said, I think there's a good opportunity that it does break through some of these key resistance zones. You just have to be patient on that one and always write those CSPs so you're not chasing stock.
Cash secured puts. Don't forget that again. All right, guys, Tesla, Wednesday, after the bell. Oh, baby. I'm talking about earnings. Let's talk about what we're expecting from the Cybertruck one on Wednesday, because probably won't be more cars sold. That's my just guess, but who knows? Bank of America taking the opportunity today to raise the price target on Tesla from 305 to 31, citing higher cash reserves. They seem to like that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Wall Street is expecting for the earnings 39 cents earnings per share on revenue of 25.6 billion. You may have a different number. You know, there's always different consensus estimates out there. Don't know why. I don't know how that actually means consensus, but that is what analysts are projecting, at least in the article that I reviewed. Just to give you a comparison, in Q2 of last year, I'm talking about 2024, Tesla printed 52 pennies per share on earnings of 25.5 billion in revenue. So they're expecting a $100 million increase on the quarter in revenue. That's not what Tesla is. That's not what we're in for Tesla. So that's not a good look whatsoever. And watch for delivery alignment, vehicle delivery alignment. And just to give you an idea, deliveries last quarter, not last year on the quarter, but last quarter, were 443,956 units. So let's just say 444,000. And that was down 13.5% year over year on the quarter. The risks here, let's talk about the Baird's analyst Ben Callow is cautious. He sees downside risk to the full year estimates due to slower rollout of that lower cost EV, the Model Q, the Model 2, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's still not here. We were supposed to hear about it in the second half of the year. We're already in the second half of the year. Where's it at, Elon? Expiry of the U.S. federal EV tax credit as well. A lot of people making this the real beef between Elon and Donald. Whether that's true or not, who the hell knows? But the $7,500 EV tax credit by the federal government ends, I think, in the second half. I'm not exactly sure. You can do your homework on that. B of A warns that the tariffs may weigh on margins, especially as it relates to Tesla's energy storage division. A lot of it comes in from China. We know that. As well as the incentives and policy here, the loss of the federal EV tax credit could impact the Q3 and Q4 demand, and B of A expects a Q4 pullback as a result of that. Tesla sold, just to give you an idea of how much money they make out of these regulatory credits, or green credits as some people call them, they sold $955 million, so just shy of $1 billion in these ZEV credits in Q2. But key California waiver could affect this pipeline moving forward, so we'll have to see exactly how they do, Joey. Tesla, Wednesday after the bell. Oh, baby.
All right. Sharif, you ready for this? You ready for this one here? All right. So we have the period ending September 23rd. So I believe this is the third or second quarter, maybe there. Or third quarter, yeah. So we got a miss on EPS, miss on revenue, Sharif.
Okay.
Following quarter. Miss on EPS, miss on revenue.
I'm gonna trend here.
Listen, already, are you ready for one more?
I am.
All right, miss on EPS, miss on revenue.
I'm shocked.
And we got one more here. We got a miss on EPS, beat on revenue.
No.
And then we have a beat on EPS, miss on rev.
Aww.
And then the previous two quarters, we have multiple misses there. So talking about repeat offender, there it is. It usually doesn't beat according to the previous data, but we know with Tesla you have to be forward looking, and it's not necessarily just the car company. I know the energy storage the department's doing really, really well in Tesla.
Growing crazy.
Going substantially crazy. We like that. That's a positive sign.
Sir.
But we're still waiting on Optimus, and we need to get this fleet out. So just be cautious on what's going on with Tesla. You never know what's going to happen in this earnings report. I would not be holding on to any swing shares leading into it because you don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks through some of this 360 level and goes parabolic. So, with that being said, one moment there,
Especially
Sharif.
if he starts talking about like
Yeah, you know, if he's like, hey, we're going to get like full
Yeah.
production in Optimus in the coming time. But you
rock.
mentioned Model 2. How long has it been? Over-promising. Slightly
That's
under-delivering.
his modus operandi,
That's
yeah.
just how he is,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
what does O'Leary have the clown's nose in that picture?
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
That's crazy, eh? That's funny.
Go Copilot.
Shout out. See, you would never get that on
Nope.
thing, would you?
Certainly not.
All right, let me pull this up here, guys. So this is what we're looking for this week on Tesla from an expected move standpoint.
Okay.
About 6.9% in either direction, 83.2 ATM IV, at the money IV. So we're looking at a high of approximately 352.83 and then a low of around 307.41. We already had the options chain pulled up on Tesla, and I'm not seeing anything that says, hey, we're going to specifically reject this level. We're going to pull it up one more time. Or did I see something at 350? I thought I did. Okay, so 28,900 contracts, but again, that's nothing substantial. There could be some free flowing here in Tesla, or it might just stay within this expected move range, and that's going to suck for all the people who are buying the at the money AB, which is approximately 85% right now. So,
All right, let me know, Assassino, if we are good to go. All right. New traders, listen up. First month, it is free. That's right. We are waiving those fees so you can trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to a lead experience where you can analyze, strategize, and then after all that, you'll capitalize on their platform that has everything. It's got infinite data. It's got instant trading. It's got lightning fast market insights and game-changing charts, and you can certainly predict better with their backtesting tool. You get reliable, real-time data, global markets, guys, literally at the tips of your fingers. It's an all-in-one platform. Do not miss out. Execute your best trades now. If you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code or check the link in the description. Adara, breaking news.
Here at Novo Nordisk, this one on Watch, the FDA commenting apparently the company's going to be discontinuing one of its insulin deglucides here discontinue that production from December 31st. So it looks like in the new year, the FDA is saying that Novo Nordisk is going to stop producing some of its insulin deglucide. So again, just I guess a little update there in advance. Novo Nordisk is discontinuing some production according to the FDA, but again, this does not take effect until the end of this year. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Dara. So yeah, we're just we'll get back into this here momentarily. You're just going over some Tesla stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's still grinding higher right back up towards the volume weighted average price, but you can see we got really aggressive here, boom, 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 boom. And then eventually we take 80% out there, and then I just got out the remaining 20, right? So a couple more partials. So we'll take a nice chunk out of our losses, but nothing to kind of mitigate all of them throughout the session. So we're still slightly red on the day, but we won't complain about that. We'll try to keep it relatively small. Not my day. Google was pretty nice off of those lows. Man. A really nice move in Google. Nice hammer candle right below the volume weighted average price, and now kind of putting in a double top. This was a missed op on my behalf to add into my swing position that I've been holding on. I'm going to hold these shares through the earnings report, right? Just because it's nothing substantial. I'll tell you guys, I'm literally holding, I had like a couple, just over 100, I think, on my swing trade from these lows and a contract. And then I sold the majority of all of that. And I'm holding on to literally 13 shares just to have skin in the game, you know what I mean? So it's nothing substantial. They're well in the money. They're from 167, so we'll be all right. If it does pull back, we'll just hop out here, or even maybe grab some more. Or if it does decide to make that push all the way up here, then we're gonna be laughing. We gotta call a little skin in the game, all right? So that's what we got going on. Just swing trading on that front. That's my as of lately. But let's take a look at Google to see what we got going on here. From an open interest standpoint for this week's expiration cycle, 190 has 17,000 open contracts. Here, I'll let you guys see what we got cooking up here. So 17,000 open contracts. We want to go to the max pain, and I think that's, I don't know, that's kind of weird. I don't think that's going to be max pain considering we're trading right there. That is almost the at-the-money strength. The IV is starting to pick up as well, too, so just keep that in mind as you head in towards earnings. The market will price that in, so you really want to... Joey Pinky, I see... Joe's Pinky, I see you, my friend. I looked at it earlier, all right? I see what you continuously tagging me in the chat. I've replied to your question, and I answered it, all right? You know, it's like, come on, man. What are you laughing at? You're laughing at the name, aren't you? This guy. Yeah.
It's like he's obviously a fan of yours, right? Otherwise, his name would be Joseph Pinky or
Joe's
like
Pinky. Yeah, well, because that was all the ordeal that Big Spile got us into last weekend.
Remind me.
Remember, I was talking about the 4-inch cutout shorts, and then Big Spile commented. And then that's
what
Joe's
the
Pinky.
hell?
Yeah, what the hell he is. Right, but no, he's my friend.
Yeah,
I've seen him. But yeah, so nothing crazy going on right now, and there's no size on the put. So again, when we're rolling into earnings season, we always want to be able to gauge things. We know with the likes of NVIDIA running into earnings, we're going to see some substantial size. And with that being said, we can base trades off of that. But with Tesla and Google, nothing is telling me from an option standpoint that we're going to fade or even head into a specific direction. Maybe no large call walls is going to be something positive that can lead us to potentially test this all-time high. But until I see that report, I'm going to be patient on that one.
All right, guys, let's go on to Microsoft sounding the alarm on active SharePoint attacks. Here's what happened. So Microsoft issued a security warning, guys, over active attacks, apparently targeting on-premise SharePoint service used by government agencies as well as private organizations. These are basically what they're called zero-day exploits, meaning that they're new, right? Attackers are leveraging previously unknown vulnerabilities to breach the system. Therefore, there's no patches for them. By default, they got to be made. So this is part of the risk of it. The issue doesn't actually affect SharePoint Online or Microsoft 365 cloud users. Only self-hosted versions are exposed, and Microsoft is flat on the day, up 0.1. I'm assuming otherwise they'd be up a lot more because Microsoft's been a rocket ship lately. The flaw enables spoofing over a network, which allows attackers kind of to impersonate trusted users or systems. And experts warn that tens of thousands of servers are actually at risk, including those used by international agencies, and I mentioned large enterprises. It described the bug as capable of letting an authorized attacker, meaning somebody who already has access to the system, escalate or basically upgrade their privileges so that they have more user access than they were allowed by the system administrator, which is obviously not good, signaling potential insider risk as well. So another kind of variable to the problem there. The response here has been kind of, let's see, we'll see. They're working with the CISA, the Department of Defense, Cyber Command, as well as the global cybersecurity agencies to coordinate the defense and issue patches. The FBI acknowledged the threat and is coordinating with the federal private sector partners as well, though details on that issue will kind of remain sketchy. Attackers are targeting SharePoint, specifically here 2016 and 2019, with update and mitigations currently in development. Again, as I said, it's one of those what they call zero-day exploits, so there's no patches ready-made for that. They're kind of a previously unknown vulnerability. That's what it means. Microsoft's urged users to immediately install the security patches or disconnect affected servers from the internet if patching is not yet possible. Organizations that cannot update the patches must literally disable internet access to those servers as temporary safeguard, guys. So not a good look for Microsoft, but there's been very little bad news, Adira, for Softy as of late.
When I hear Pepsi, interesting little catalyst here. Apparently, the company launched a $3.5 billion debt offering, but they've split it into 4 tranches. One of the tranches involves $750 million in 3-year fixed notes. You've got $650 million in 5-year fixed notes, and then also $850 million in 7-year fixed notes. Last but not least, $1.25 billion in 10-year fixed notes. So very specific debt offering coming through from PepsiCo. PEP. This one not having too much pep in its step, though, after that piece of news. Back to you.
So we say one quick thing there, but your friend Big Spile.
Yeah.
He automatically hears, like, I heard Joey mention my name.
You can say what he called me, brother. Joey called me Joey Smalls.
No, that ain't accurate. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. We love him around here, man. Big Spile, always willing to troll whoever is available to be trolled. He doesn't care. He does not discriminate. He will make fun. He will bully anybody. Just give him the opportunity. He's all there and ready to go. Meta. Getting the nod today from your friends at Morgan Stanley, raising the price target on Meta to $750 from $650, but maintaining obviously that overweight rating. Meta did close, I think, about $708.25 on Friday. That's up on Friday. I'm not talking about today. It was up 20.5% year to date. As I look at it right now, Meta is actually up exactly 22.08% year to date, nearing its 52-week highs of that 747.90. Morgan sees Meta's AI-driven monetization model as a key catalyst for continued top-line acceleration. Top-line acceleration means revenue growth. So I don't know. I don't agree with Morgan on this because Llama's a bit of a disaster. Llama 3, Llama 4, they're not really that good. Analysts are citing Meta's GPU-enabled machine learning as a growth engine with particular focus on the upcoming Llama models that could bring reasoning capabilities like DeepSeek's R1.
We're on Meta right now, right?
Yeah,
we were talking about Microsoft earlier.
Yes, we were.
There's one thing that I wanted to add, and this is what I was referring to earlier, right?
We have to go to Adara.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We'll go to Adara,
we'll go to Adara, and then we'll come back. Yeah.
Good.
Keep an eye here on some of these big tech names, actually, guys. Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon. Apparently, according to a letter, U.S. House lawmakers have issued a letter asking these CEOs, again, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon, to answer if they have adequate safeguards to address concerns about China and Russia targeting submarine cables. So, again, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon, their CEOs reportedly receiving this letter from U.S. House lawmakers on whether or not their safeguards to address concerns about China and Russia targeting submarine cables are effective and adequate at this time. Back to you.
Lost it.
Go, Joey. So you want to make a comment about software?
Yeah, okay. So with Microsoft, let's pull it up on the daily here. Sorry to take a step back, but I think this is really important to note. And this is what I was saying to Sharif the other day. It's like it doesn't make sense to me for a stock to continuously do what Microsoft has been doing. We even chimed in on the chat and said, do you believe this move is sustainable? Well, guess what? This is when the fundamentals are going to meet the technicals, all right? Commercial cloud trending 5 to 7 ahead of expectations. Potential 25 billion the street may not be factoring in. $25 billion
That's
the
crazy.
street may not be factoring in. Possible $5 trillion market cap from Dan. This is Dan Ives saying that by in 18 months. But it's the mass adoption wave of Copilot and Azure that can potentially and is fueling this move continuously higher and higher. But for me, it was the 5 to 7% ahead of expectations, which can be a big time move. All right.
Well said, Joey.
And 25 billion the street may not be factoring in.
All right. Let's we were not done yet on Meta, so let's go ahead. So Morgan Stanley believes investors need evidence that Meta can actually hit that $30 earnings per share in 2026 to kind of justify its current valuation. Whether they can or not, we'll have to wait and see. Here's what they're trading at. So they're trading at around 23 times their 2026 EPS or their forecasted 2026 EPS and 38 times 2026 projected 2026 free cash flow with margins here, gross margins that is, at an eye-watering 81.75%. That's just crazy margins right there. People would love that in the physical product world. Only NVIDIA gets close to that from what I know at 72 or 71% for physical good. Morgan emphasized the need for Meta to kind of productize its generative AI efforts to kind of help investors better assess their ROI, their return on investment in its recent hiring and infrastructure spend. Key long-term growth levels, though, are going to be search, chatbots, as well as devices. And devices kind of really is an understatement here because Meta is really leading the charge with these kind of augmented reality glasses that project images onto the real world. So I can't wait to see exactly what happens with that. Adara has breaking news.
Just keep an eye here on Grab-A-Gun. PEW is the ticker for this one. They posted, I'm just going to read the post on X here, sitting on a pile of cash, locked in on revolutionizing the 2A space. Stay tuned. Big things are coming. So Grab-A-Gun trying to pump its own stock here on X. They even included their ticker, PEW. It actually did pump a little bit. So again, Grab-A-Gun with a double bottom and a social media post essentially pumping the stock from the company's official X. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. All right, we're breaking out here on Open, Joey. I just took a quick trade there at 39s. We're taking out all, open, go. Right into the high of the day. I sniffed this one out. You could just see that it was about to break out. There's a seller of note at 55s. We're long at 39. 56 is now the high. 57 is now the high of the day. Opens on the rampage to the high side is now at over 100%. I literally saw this one. I'm like, why did I not get in earlier? And then I saw that we were about to take out the level, so I punched quick as you like. We don't have that many shares because I got to do the news. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one. I'm going to set up a beak wetter, a penny higher than the high of the day. And then we're going to let this one kind of go a piece for the dream. That seller at 55 keeps showing up again. So here's the deal. We go to break even on this one, Joey. We're not going to let any part of this go against us. But there it goes again into the high of the day. This guy knows what I'm going to say. I love it. All right. So it is now a 463 HOD. We have a 59 print. We got 39s on. Let this one run. But there is all sorts of buying here on Open. Be careful with this one. It can flip the switch on quick as you like. Okay, so Open. Did I mention Open?
Open.
I'm playing. I'm
I
playing.
don't think
I'm
so.
playing. No. All right, so let's go on here, guys. Ethereum. Okay, so Joey, I'm gonna just call a spade, and when I don't know something, I'm gonna say that I didn't know it. Until yesterday, when I listened to the All In podcast and listened to David Sachs and that assistant of his that he brought on.
That you like.
I didn't know that stablecoins were built on the ETH network. Didn't know that.
Okay, there you go.
So I feel a little bit stupid not having known that. It's something I should have known.
You don't know.
Because I didn't really understand why ETH was breaking out with the stablecoin legislation, Genius Act, and stuff like that. Now I understand, so I should have been more alive to that. I was not. So Ethereum's latest surge isn't just ETF speculation. It's backed by a major rise, guys, in DeFi activity, with the total value locked in TVL in DeFi products now hitting $1.4 billion, the highest it has been since January of 2022. 10 times research here says Ethereum is entering a new growth phase with internal smart contract activity rising sharply and driving long-term structural gains. ETH looks fantastic. You can just have a look at the chart there. We're getting close maybe to all-time highs, 4,100 or change, I think that is. Listen to these, because I know you love inflows and all that data, guys. ETH has seen $3 billion in ETF inflows just in July, with 2.2 billion of that just last week. So big tailwind right now, at least for ETH. The Genius Act, aiming to introduce, obviously, regulatory clarity later this year, could provide yet another catalyst for ETH demand. As I mentioned, a lot of these stablecoins are built on the Ethereum network. Companies like BitMine, which is BMNR, SharpLink, which is SBET, now hold over $1.1 billion in Ethereum each, with Bit Digital, BTBT, holding another $380 million. 66. Listen to this, Joey. This is really interesting. 66% of Ethereum gains last month occurred during the Asian trading hours. The Asian trading hours, not North American, signaling a shift in market leadership, at least for Ethereum, to the east, that is. So that's something to know if you're looking at trading ETH. At least you know when it's more likely to break out, at least. That's what's been happening lately. Interesting stuff here, huh?
Yo, very, very interesting stuff, man. I mean, we know Tom Lee's been, I mention Tom Lee quite often, but he's been buying this stuff hand over fist as well, too, as of late. So a really big-time move, Sharif. And if we look at this from a technical standpoint, oh, wow. Okay, so we're still a ways off of that, like, roughly $5,000 level.
Sir.
It's going to be that all-time high. But now that the stablecoins are actually on the Ethereum blockchain, this is some big-time stuff. And I think we're going to see some moves in Ethereum like we've seen in the likes of Circle, Robinhood, and Coin, because this is really big. And the fact that a lot of them are 66% of that, would you say the inflows have been coming from the Asian market?
So, no, that's not what I said. I said when it makes gains, like when it's making highs, 66% of the times where it's making those highs.
Yeah. Oh, is during. Yeah. So there you go. And I mean, hey, stablecoins benefit them as well too, right? You can transact in U.S. currency significantly easier. Significantly. Exactly. People don't understand how huge this is. So I mean, stablecoin stuff. I'm buying these names on any form of pullback. I'm getting involved in some more Robinhood. And I used to own a lot of Ethereum. I used to actually have a couple of them, Sharif. And then I sold them all. And I'm like, yeah, let me get some Bitcoin and let me go party a little bit. But Adara, what do you got for us?
Get it, Adara.
EYON on watch. That is Beyond Inc. So for context, this is not Beyond Meat. That one is moving. I still don't know why that's moving, but Beyond Inc. is a company. Apparently, they're an online retailer that they own a good portion here of the Bed Bath & Beyond brand. Now, also apparently, they are a significant investor in a company called T0. T0 is a platform for digital asset offerings. So all of this context leads me to the reason the stock is moving now. The executive chairman of Beyond, whose name is Marcus Lemonis, just posted on X that he sent a letter to the board of directors of T0, again, a company with which Beyond has worked pretty closely. And this letter is basically asking T0 to go public via an IPO or other offering on the New York Stock Exchange to help enhance the shareholder value of the company and also of Beyond. So keep an eye here. BYON, long story short, this is popping after the executive chairman asked T0, which is a crypto-related company, digital asset-related company, to please go public. Back to you.
Good call out there, Dara. I like that one, but I like this one too.
Ooh.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
They're going to hate this one. Boom! Into the high of the day. Guess what the high of the day is? It was 69 a second ago. Joey,
the new high of the
now
day.
It's 70.
Damn.
It's okay.
All right,
I was kind of hoping 69 would be the end of it. But there goes Open again, punching in at 39, wetting the beak there, at least momentarily, for the high of the day at 69. Open continues to make higher highs and higher lows. What's been operative to me on Open, and obviously it's easy to look back and say, oh, look what it was doing. But the 20 exponential seems to have been kind of that red line for the sellers today on Open. Every single time it dipped into the 20, it found buyers. whatever reason, whatever algo mechanical trading system was operating on open today was certainly using the 20 on the 5 or some derivative thereof. I won't be convinced any different. Anyway, 471 high on open. Keep your eye here as this one continues to make higher highs and higher lows, right back into that 69 penny level, Joseph. All right, we did ETH. Let's talk about your boy Donald, because things are starting to heat up bigly there with Europe. So the U.S. is holding firm on its August 1st deadline to raise tariffs on the European Union to 30%, with the Commerce Secretary Lutnick stating the increase is a hard deadline. He did caveat that statement by saying, just because it's a hard deadline, that means you're going to get charged 30%, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop talking. We can still strike a deal after that date. So the little bit of silver lining there. The talks continue beyond the deadline, as I mentioned, but tariffs will be imposed regardless, creating potential friction in one of the world's largest trading relationships, the United States and Europe, obviously. The EU, apparently, according to some reports, is scrambling here to negotiate a deal modeled very similarly to the UK one, which had a lower 10% tariff. But analysts are quite skeptical whether a similar tariff deal can be struck with Europe, especially one as low as 10%. Economic complexities apparently are making the tense U.S.-EU relationship strained even further, especially as Donald Trump is are proving to be significant hurdles to a fast resolution, according to this article. Trump is reportedly pushing for 15 to 20% tariffs on the EU's and maintaining a 25% duty on autos, posing a major threat, obviously, to the German car makers, who rely very much, obviously, on their auto exports. Analysts warn that a 20% tariff could totally crash, their words, not mine, the car could be a total car crash for U.S. exports, no pun intended, with the strong euro further pressuring European competitiveness. Obviously, if your currency appreciates in value, it makes others with less valuable currency have less buying power to buy your products. So if the euro goes up against the dollar, that means people holding the dollar can't buy of much of a product with the euro. So strong currency, tougher for exports, just simple as that. The EU has prepared apparently 2 waves of counter tariffs, one targeting about $21 billion in U.S. goods, another about $72 billion aimed really at a wide variety of imports. Specifically here, tariffs could hit clothing, agriculture, as well as food and drink, increasing the cost for U.S. importers and reigniting, Joseph, inflation fears.
I think that's one of the big things, right? You don't want to reignite inflation, considering we've been we've been battling it for quite some time now, better part of 3 years. So that's one thing about, I guess, these tariffs and the interest rates as well too. But I thought it was transitory there, Sharif.
Just taking shots at your boy, eh? He's out the door soon. You know that, May.
That's right.
May last year. All right, Joey, we gotta pay some bill. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Looking to trade futures like the Nasdaq, the SPY, or even Bitcoin? Well, guess what? Top One Futures is one of the fastest growing prop firms out there, baby. They give traders the chance to manage up to $1 million in real capital. And you choose your own path. You can choose the instant funded route, the challenge route, or even a pro account and start trading your way to real payouts and even a live account. And just in the last 90 days, they've paid out over $10 million and earned 1,000 plus 5-star reviews from real traders, guys, just like you. So if you're interested, use the discount code TTV to save on any account. Scan that QR code or head on over to top1futures.com and start trading towards your next payout. I had one quick last information to give you here on CoreWeave. I want to cover it. I know it's past 2 o'clock, but CoreWeave does plan to offer a $1.5 billion senior note due in 2031 vis-a-vis a private offering, subject obviously to market conditions. The senior notes will be issued on a senior unsecured basis and guaranteed by wholly owned subsidiaries of the company. The proceeds from the offering are going to be used kind of for general corporate purposes, repayment of outstanding debt, fees, costs, expenses, etc. The offering, as usual, is only available to qualified institutional buyers or non-U.S. persons under Regulation S. The notes are not registered with the U.S. Securities Act, meaning they cannot be sold to the public without specific exemptions. At least initially, the news on CoreWeave sent that stock down, but where's it at right now? Let's have a quick look. CoreWeave, baby, up 4.17%, but still looking very head and shoulders-esque on the daily. Joseph, any quick comment on CoreWeave before we send it over to the boys?
Yeah, my guy, I'm not, no comment.
Yeah, you see that move up there?
I see it.
What was that move up there, Joey?
Where was this one?
Why was that move up? What were you saying that move up was going to be?
This is what I was getting at.
Test of the neckline.
This is what I was telling you.
Yes, sir.
Well, there it is.
Are we gonna? Let's find out if we're in the money on our.
Not yet. At the lows, I think.
Joey,
maybe,
we're $1,600 out of the money.
Yeah, on that contract.
I still don't understand.
Yeah, because it's so far OTM and it expires in September, right?
Yeah, but
It's a $100 strike.
So let's show the people, right? Let's show the people super quick. So we're doing this in the sim, obviously. So there is the short that I got. I got the put. We got this back in the day. It's a September 19th put. It's a $100 put, Joey. We only got one, and we're $1,612 unrealized out of the money on that. Don't jump into those shorts super quick.
Dude, no, super quick. You got to be precise with those puts for sure, and you got to watch out for IV, and then you also don't want to go so far OTM.
I've learned the lesson. Yeah, this is kind of what.
No, but that's good though. That's what you need to do. You need to learn that trial and error aspect, right? Because it's a different game. So even though it's like, hey, yeah, you think it's going to $100, and it's like, all right, let me grab that strike. No, there's like obviously more Greek fundamentals behind that, and it's why. It's like that's why for me, it's like you go a couple points in the money or out the money. That's it, max, right?
Makes sense. Yeah, it's actually really good lesson to learn, right?
Because if you were to have bought it at the money, it would be inverse, right? You'd be $1,600 ITM right now.
Oh.
Yeah, right. If it was slightly closer, because you were looking at it when it was 150, even a little bit more than that. Like
it continued to go up a little bit after I got it. Like I think I got it on the left shoulder.
Yeah.
It did. So we were out of the money substantially on that.
Yeah. You did get it in here earlier, I think.
I remember that.
It moved a bit higher. So.
All right, guys. It is 203. We got 3.5 there in the bank. I like that. All right. So the big boys are that way. Joseph and I will be same bat time, same bat channel. I'll see everybody at the green screen.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for taking a little extra time there, boys. But